we aren't. We will be. A couple of birthdays. Betty Thomas. The actress turned director. She was the tall blonde cop on Hill Street Blues, but she's a famous director. She directed Dr. Dolittle, The Late Shift, the Brady Bunch movie. The Late Shift, was that the one with Henry Winkler? That was a funny and
Michael Keaton.
Mike.
That was his big breakout.
That was the one in the morgue, right? He worked in Henry Winkler worked in a morgue, and Michael Keaton and Shelley Long from Cheers was the hooker. And his girlfriend was the kind of chubby brunette, sort of a Jewish acting, kind of a whiny.
It was supposed to be a vehicle for Winkler, and Keaton stole the movie.
It was a great... Yeah, it's just, I got an idea. How about we put the mayonnaise inside the tuna fish when we catch them and put it all in one can? Remember that? Great idea. And he starts recording himself. Anyway, Betty Thomas directed that movie. Betty Thomas is 76 today. What's the matter?
The Late Shift, that's totally different.
Oh, that's not it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about?
Shut up. I don't have to be right about everything.
I Googled the name, and then I saw the characters. Like, he has
what the hell? Am I under oath here or anything? Well, what the hell is the movie I'm thinking of? The Night Shift.
Night Shift, yeah.
Night Shift.
Well,
what was the Late Shift? We ought to got to tell them who's
It was a movie in the 90s based on Letterman and Leno's rivalry.
Oh, I remember that.
Kathy Bates was in it.
Yeah, and Letterman's producer was something of a snake. Isn't that true? One of them had a snaky producer chick.
And very good movie. I watched that one. It's pretty good.
Remember seeing it.
I remember Jay Leno hid in the closet or the bathroom, and he was listening to a meeting where he got all the information. And
I remember about it, but I never saw the thing. Anyway, Betty Thomas, 76 today. Let's see. Should we do one more here? Here's Bill Engvall. He was part of the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and I love Jeff Foxworthy, so I'm sure Bill Engvall is a wonderful guy. He's 66. I never liked his stuff.
He's a nice guy, but I don't find him funny.
I never laughed at a single thing he's ever done. I mean, I think he's clever, and it's kind of those, oh boy, that's pretty, but you don't really laugh out loud spontaneously to that kind of humor. He tells stories, and I'm not
in the same league as Foxworthy.
Oh, no. Anyway, Bill Engvall is 66. Okay, all right. Historical note. Let's say pick one historical note. Oh, here we go. In 1586, tobacco was first brought back to England from Virginia by
ships.
Sir Walter Raleigh. Raleigh, North Carolina. You never heard Sir Walter Raleigh?
Yeah, okay. The guy put the cape down,
right?
And all that
Queen
stuff.
You
know what? He had a bad ending, by the way.
I remember something about him. He got into a fight with the Queen when he went for something. Was it a business? I can't remember.
Yeah, and a love gone bad and all that. And he was marrying somebody, and she didn't like it, so she threw him in the tower, and he basically died there.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, and of course, tobacco has been one of the most.
In fact, a few years ago, they found graffiti he had written in his cell.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what was it like? I hate the Queen.
The Queen is a fink, things like that.
The Queen wears army boots. The Queen wears army boots. By the way, New Nick the Injured. Now, have you ever heard the phrase, your mother wears army boots? Have you ever heard of such a thing?
No.
No. Flounder, have you ever heard the phrase, your mother wears army boots?
I do not think I've heard that term.
I'll bet your old man has.
Probably.
You're a Vietnam vet. Welcome home, Dad. I'll guarantee you he's heard it. Pete, have you heard it? You maybe.
I heard it. I never understood what it meant.
Yeah, it was back in the old days of a Beetle Bailey cartoon in the paper and the World War II cartoon, Ernie Pyle and all those things. And it was some of the complaints of the soldiers they would make up because Army, particularly Army doughboys, were known for if you're not complaining, then you're not happy. You have to bitch when you're in the foxhole and so white and fight hole. Anyway, and it was so they'd make up things. He'd say, you might have army boots, and it was just an old military World War II kind of a thing. And it was very famous back then for people of a certain age. And I like to point out, Nick had never heard of it, Flounder never heard of it, and he's 42 or 3 or 4. That's our basic cutoff.
Is Joe in there?
Yes.
Has he heard it?
Morning Joe, the non-intern Joe. Joe, have you heard? You're what, 28 or 25 or something?
23.
23. Oh my God. Well, you probably never heard it either. Then
no, never heard it.
There you are. No. I don't know why I get such a big kick out of proving how old I am.
Okay, let's do something here. Let's do something here. Flounder, and just one word answer, yes or no. Flounder, ever heard of Mama Cass?
Yes.
Okay, Joe.
Yes.
New Nick?
New Nick.
No.
You never heard of Mama Cass? Wow.
2 out of 3 is pretty good.
Mamas
That is
and the
pretty good.
Papas.
Well, Mamas and the Papas. And now when we say Mamas and the Papas, Nick, have you heard of Mamas and the Papas?
No, I haven't.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you that no one under 50 or now 40. I
Because
guess.
I got a story that I was pretty proud of myself. We're about, in fact, I'm already 3:10. Oh, we haven't done anything yet, but we got a story. Pete found a great story about a media thing, and then he found a great story about Mick Jagger, which I said, oh my God, I've never heard that before. And then I said, well, I got a story I found this morning, messing around about Mama Cass, where there's a new book out about so and so, and I thought that'd be great. So I looked up all that kind of stuff. Now, what was my point? I can't remember what my point. And Pete said, if you talk about Mama Cass, no one's going to know what the hell you're talking about. And I said, you got to be kidding me. Everybody knows Mamas and the Papas. Are you serious? Well, he just proved that he is serious, and I'm wrong, or at least for a certain age. Monday and California Dreamin'.
Yeah, great group.
Unbelievable.
The blonde was hot.
Now, so New Nick, you've never heard this song. Did you remember?
No, I've heard this song.
Okay, so all right, so but you're clearly not familiar with the name and the group and stuff like that.
I just wasn't familiar with the band.
Right, there you go. Well, I mean, see, that makes sense. You would know the music,
Right.
but not the people.
You want to know something weird?
Yes, I
There are
do.
a few points in your life that you remember exactly where you were when you heard something.
Yeah, I'm going to guess where you were. I know where I was.
I was sitting, it was in the middle of the summer. I think she died.
And I
Mama
know what you're
Cass.
talking about.
And I was sitting in the kitchen in Little Rock, Arkansas with my friend, and we were sitting in the kitchen playing cards because it was too hot to go outside.
Yeah.
And we were listening to the radio, and they came on and said, Mama Cass has died. And for some reason, I remember exactly sitting there playing cards at that table, hearing that for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I remember where I was. I was on Cape Cod. And I remember hearing about it. And in fact, we'll talk about the rumor of what caused her death and all that stuff. But that's why we're kind of talking about Mama Cass. Oh, my God. It's 3:12.
We killed the segment.
Good night, everybody. We have a million things. Anyway, we'll talk about how it's now racist and offensive to have white people outdoors in a park.
It's my fault.
And they bring it up every few years, apparently, on TV. So here we go. Also, an incredible story I'd never heard before about Mick Jagger and how he takes his life into his hands going on a concert tour. Also, Hunter's business partner in hiding. And coming up in a few minutes, you're going to hear Doctor of Cuckolding, Jill Biden's ex-husband. You won't hear him. You'll hear about him describing how he was treated compared to how Hunter and the family are treated as the cuckold queen protects the Biden criminals. Coming up, 3:13 with the boys here, Kimmer Flounder, Pete Davis, and not intern Joe and New Nemitz. We got him, everybody. We got everybody.
Damn it.
This
it happened
is
again.
not the Beatles.
Well, here's what I'm doing.
Lynyrd, what happened?
No, this is a awful cover of somebody.
It sounds like a Beatles song, but it's not the
It
Beatles.
is a
It's
Beatles
the Ballad
song.
of Yoko and Uno, which you guys were
Yoko and Uno? Yoko married a card game?
Claude Justeau's niece, I think, pretty sure.
Yoko and Uno?
No, the funny thing is I pull a lot of this stuff from Kimmer's hard drive, which we pulled from at the old news station.
Yeah.
So I pulled it on there and put it up and didn't check.
Because I was going to say, it sounds like a Beatles song, but I don't recognize who's singing it.
Ballad of John and Yoko.
Anyway, well, the reason we're playing it is because on this day in 2012, the Beatles returned to the top 40 Billboard charts with the iTunes exclusive compilation called Tomorrow Never Knows 2012. The set included 14 classic songs by the Beatles and marked the first time the Beatles released an album exclusively to iTunes, this is 2012, that had never been issued previously before. So that's sort of weird. All right, let's see what else we got here. Hold on, we got a birthday or two here. Oh, that's no history. Let's get birthday. Speaking of music, and by the way, you got a YouTube. Hold on, your YouTube comment. A couple comments coming on here. You remember the hit song "The Morning After"? Maureen McGovern.
Poseidon Adventure.
Maureen McGovern is 74. By the way, that was a good movie.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Gene Hackman.
And the same with the Towering Inferno. Both of those with Steve McQueen and all. And I mean, I think both the Towering Inferno and the Fight of Poseidon were great.
Who was the captain of the Poseidon in the first Poseidon Adventure?
I know you were. I can't remember.
Surely you remember.
Shirley Jones.
Leslie Nielsen.
Was it? No. Well, don't call me Shirley. That's why I didn't get it. I don't remember that. Those are great movies. All right, anyway, so what did I say? What's her name is, what you call it? Did I give her name here?
I don't know. Did you?
Didn't I even see who that was?
Maureen McGovern.
Maureen McGovern is 74. Biggest hits here. And a quick historical note, and we'll go right to the YouTube. Congratulations to us, although it's not really over yet. In 1953, the Korean War ended, but not really. They signed a kind of a ceasefire. The Korean War ended at 53. Nearly 7,700 U.S. servicemen are still missing in Korea. 2018, though, North Korea finally handed over the remains of the POWs who had been identified, but there were still a bunch of missing ones. And as I recall, we have a kind of a peace. Well, we have a ceasefire, but it's not an armistice or a peace agreement. With them. Anyway, to the phones or to the computer. Radio talk shows used to have actually phone calls. Now we're going on YouTube and stuff, which is fine. So what do we got here, Debbie?
Did you ever see the movie Rocket Man?
No, I did not.
Elton John biography?
No.
It was okay. It wasn't great.
Who was it? Was he starring in it like a?
You know the guy who did the Kingsman movies, the kid that played. He was Elton John. He did a good job. He's a good little actor.
Yeah. Okay.
And the guy who was the first, Richard Madden, who I think should be the next James Bond. He's got right now they got a spy thing going on Amazon called Citadel, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I guess he won't be the next Bond because he's doing a spy thing on this one. It's kind of a shame because he was the first son in Game of Thrones, the one that died at the Red Wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Richard
Richard
Madden. Okay. Yeah, okay. I remember. In fact, we're going to make a reference to that.
So what were we talking about him?
You're talking about a movie, and we're going to go to YouTube, and then you talked about the other movie.
Rocket Man. He played Elton's lover and manager.
All right.
Yeah, so there's a few scenes in there making you go,
whoa. All right.
But anyway, Mark says if they saw Rocket Man, the movie, the big party they go to in California was at Mama Cass's house. She was known for her huge, and Elton thought he was, I'm really in the big crowd because now they've invited me to go to Mama Cass's big party. That was a big coming out thing for him to go there. After he played the Troubadours, one of those places.
I did not know that.
And second thing here, Bishop says, I'm 56. I first heard of Mama Cass on an episode of Sanford and Son.
Really? Oh, my God. What a place to find Mama Cass died on Sanford and the Garbage Men and the.
This is a big one, Elizabeth. Red Fox was the funniest man of all time.
He was filthy too, and his comedy albums and stuff was brutal. But he was a very clever fellow, very funny guy. I got any more on the thing?
No, that's it.
Well, speaking of Mama Cass, and again, we're going to talk about Mick Jagger. We're kind of going out of order here. And we have we're going to talk about Hunter and Dr. Jill, the concubine queen, or the cuckolding queen. Sorry, I got that backwards. But here, there's a new book out about Mama Cass, Hollywood Secrets and Scandals, and Sue Cameron, the columnist, Hollywood reporter, who was friends with Cass Elliot, Mama Cass, said, I want to clear up the rumor about how she died. For years and years, everybody has always said, what year was it?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember the year.
It had to be the 70s.
I'm blanking on exact words.
I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I was sort of a kid. Here's what she said. This I did not know. Regarding the ham sandwich, I was the reporter who broke that story. I walked in after lunch. People in the newsroom told me that she died. I was in a state of shock, but stopped them from writing the obit. I called Mama Cass. She knew her. I called Mama Cass's apartment in London, and her manager, Alan Carr, was sobbing as he answered the phone. I was crying too. I asked, what happened? What happened? He said, quote, I need a favor, and since you're Mama Cass's friend, you'll do it. I'm looking at a half-eaten ham sandwich on her nightstand. Write the story that she choked on it and died. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Write that story now. And she says, I immediately wrote that story and kept my mouth shut for years about it. Her manager claimed that the woman wanted to save her reputation. It was years after Elliot's death that more was disclosed about her substance abuse. The death report said she died of a heart attack. That's better for history. But Mama Cass's daughter, Elliot, I'm sorry, the daughter previously debunked the rumor to Variety. She said she died in her sleep, and that meant a lot to me, especially as a little girl. The 56-year-old daughter, who was 7 at the time, said she was traumatized by her mother's death. They honored her late mama with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Michelle's the only surviving member of the group, Michelle Phillips, and she would not comment. But again, this writer was told to write that story, and that's how the whole thing broke. And of course, it wasn't true at all. She had a heart attack, and she had been heavily into drugs for quite some time.
We got Donnie.
Donnie
wants to start something on YouTube today.
All right.
I don't know if I should read this because it'll set you off, and for the rest of the show, you'll be bitter.
I'll be fine. Is it another military? Is it a Marine Corps thing?
No.
All right. Well, then
it's worse than that.
A wife thing. Oh, Jesus. Go ahead. He's stating what? He's now...
No. Let me just say it. Let me just say it.
Yeah.
Hey, Kimmer, for an average guy, you really impressed me with your legal knowledge yesterday when explaining the Hunter Biden case. It was like you had a family member who was an attorney or something.
Oh, my God, man. Yeah, I remember writing all the checks for $60,000. I remember that very well.
Shots fired.
Yeah. 30 years.
Yeah. Keep moving.
Lied to me for 30 years and lied about me for 20.
No, allegedly. Okay, what's next?
God, I'm going to drink this first Cavallo. Donnie.
Oh, speaking of which, Bob and Tom Show. One of my favorite shows of all time.
Are they still on the air in Indianapolis?
Oh, one retired. The other one, his son, the other one's son has joined in. But Donnie Baker. Well, I think the thing was Donnie Baker. I forget the guy's name was Rob something. The comedian who did 3 great characters on that show for 30-plus years. Passed away at age 52 of a heart attack.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Either on stage or at a show or something. And I tell you what, that to me, Bob and Tom, someone we used to listen to and try and emulate.
They're as good as it gets.
The production value they put behind stuff. They had whole bands to do stuff.
They had a staff of 12 writers and a musical. I mean, they really did it. I mean, they really would. And they were great at it. I mean, it was wonderful.
Funny stuff.
Very, very high, clever.
Some of the best radio stuff I've ever heard is this guy.
Absolutely.
And Don and Rob, I think is his name, has passed away, and that's just such a shame.
That's a shame, yeah. And again, they were in Indian no place. I mean, of all the places to be in, I call it India. I was there in the Marines for 6 months or something.
I drove past it once in a high speed.
Oh, it was horrible. I was there for the winter of 67, like January 67 or something. Anyway, horrible. I mean, it was gray and cloudy. I never saw the sun.
But you know what? Actually, I have been there because the Falcons played the Colts a couple times. It's a very clean city, and at Christmas they light up the downtown area. It's beautiful.
I have no complaints about the culture of the city of Indianapolis. It's a Midwestern, good old-fashioned town. But it was just winter. But it was all slush. I never saw the sun. It was just cloudy, gray, slushy. Oh my God. God, make it the hell out of here.
Pure as the driven slush.
Well, anyway, I got 3:25. Okay, now let's get back to the original story we were going to do here. And again, we'll talk about Hunter and the cuckolding queen here shortly. But first, I did not know this. Pete, did you had not heard the story about Mick Jagger?
That he had a party?
Pete, yeah, that was one. Pete Davis found us shortly ago, and I said, man, we got to talk about this. Quote, the Rolling Stones singer Mick Jagger put his life on the line every time he went on stage. A Hell's Angel murder contract had been put out on the 46-year-old rock star for over 20 years. 2 attempts to kill him were made. Both were bungled. The grudge dated back to a Stones concert in December 1969. When the Angels said they were hired by the group for $500 in beer to control the $300,000. To control the 300,000 fans. The Hells Angels were hired for $50 worth of beer to control the fans.
Security. Bad idea.
This was in '69. A gruesome fight broke out at the concert at the Altamont Speedway in Livermore, California. One guy was stabbed to death by a gang of Hells Angels. The Hells Angels felt the group didn't stand behind them. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I guess the Hells Angels felt that the Rolling Stones did not stand behind them, although they had hired them to do security, said one of the founding members of the Hells Angels Cleveland, Ohio chapter. Describing the Hells Angels' attitude toward Mick Jagger in Eve Levine's revealing book, Hells Angels, they felt that this rock band should have stayed behind them and said that they had hired them for around the bandstand, but they did not. They just left. Crouch added the Angels had issued a warning they were out to murder every member of the band, and Mick Jagger was at the head of the hit list, and they tried to kill him at least twice and bungled it.
Well, yeah, it's on film. It was in Gimme Shelter was the name of the film. And you see it. They stabbed the guy to death in the front row. It's right there on film.
Yeah.
And that's what the Stones are going, they could sue us out of existence. We had nothing to do with this.
Of course they backed off. Charged with, assisting murder cover-up or something.
Yeah.
My God. All right, hold on. Wow,
I was just playing Gimme Shelter.
He's just playing
Gimme Shelter, because that was the movie.
That song you never heard of.
No, I never heard of that. Anyway, that's all the story I know, but again, I had no idea.
Not only that, you see the Hells Angels guys at the front of the stage, and they are so whacked out on drugs and LSD. It's ridiculous.
Okay, that's Flounder saying that. I'm not saying anything disparaging about the Hells Angels, since they probably have a chapter here in Atlanta.
I'll bet they do.
But Jagger just celebrated his 80th.
Yeah,
they rented out this huge place there in Chelsea and London. They had Lenny Kravitz there, and a bunch of other people showed up, Stella McCartney. And they showed a picture of his 51-year-old daughter, Jade, who I think he had with the hot chick from Central America.
Oh, really?
What was her name? The skinny hot chick that he married.
Remember.
Then they followed him. Boy, that's a rough-looking 51.
Yeah. Now, didn't you say he just got engaged again?
He's engaged to a woman who looks like she's like 28.
Oh, my God. God bless him. Man just is 80 years old today. Turned 80. Mick Jagger is freaking 80. Let's compare him to President Crime Family.
Yeah.
Holy moly. By the way, we're going to talk a lot about that. But first, we're also going to do this NBC thing. In fact, we have time. We got a minute.
You got time.
Well, let's do this.
We don't have time. That's going to take more than a minute to do.
Okay. Anyway, there some white liberals, self-loathing socialists are trying to make a case again to divide America. Yeah. And frankly, there's another call for black groups to say we want to split away from all you white people. We just can't take it anymore. Well, if you don't want to be around anybody else, I'm not going to stop you where you want to go.
I don't want to be around anybody that doesn't want to be around me.
I mean, what do you complain? I mean, think of someplace else that'd be better, where you give it more opportunities. Oh, my God. Anyway, coming up, we'll talk about that. You're a racist if you go to a park now.
Yeah.
And Jill's ex-hubby, also Hunter's lawyers could be in trouble, and called for, a special counsel and McConnell jokes. Well, I don't know why he's laughing. I know why a lot of other people are. Anyway, it's 3:29 with the Kimmer, Pete, Flounder, New Nick, and Not Morning Joe standing by with a... We were talking about girls and Aaron Rodgers is nailed. Sorry. Well, Danica Patrick was doing a commercial, and I really was looking at her. I'm sorry. And we both said the same thing. I'll bet you, one, I'll bet she's just very hard to live with. And two, she's just all kind of wiry and just kind of, I don't know.
Like sleeping with a pipe cleaner.
I don't know. Anyway, is this Lynyrd and the boys here? It sounds like it. Lynyrd Skynyrd, my friends, and on this day in 2001, Leon Wilkeson, the bass player with Lynyrd Skynyrd, was found dead in his hotel room in Florida. He was only 49. Lynyrd Skynyrd had scored the 1974 number 8, but I can't believe this. It only made number 8, Sweet Home Alabama.
Really?
Only made number 8 in America, and their a Freebird made number 21 in England.
Well, that didn't hit until the live version from the Fox Theater. That's what made that one famous.
Right. Yeah, but Sweet Home Alabama only hit number 8. I thought that was a
such
monster
a catchy
hit.
tune. God, everyone was playing that.
Sweet Home.
Year.
I mean, who could? Yeah. I mean, it's very surprising. Yeah. There you go. A little music flounder. You're good. It's all good.
Telling Neil Young where he can stick it.
Good music. Bobby Gentry, Ode to Billy Joe, singer. What?
I told you my Bobby Gentry story, didn't I?
Well, you're going to tell it again. Bobby Gentry is either 79 or 81. There's some debate about it. And now Pete Davis, ladies and gentlemen.
It's in the 70s. It's summer. I'm spending it at my grandparents' farm. And one day she's making a cake. And I go, oh, good. What kind of cake we get? And she goes, this is not for you. It's for a friend of a friend, blah, blah, blah. They're coming by to pick it up. Okay. So it's really nice. Lincoln pulls out in the front yard. And my grandmother goes out, nonchalant with the cake and everything, and hands it to the back window, rolls down, and she hands it to this lady in the back window and leans in, and they talk for like 15, 20 minutes because it's the South and women have got to talk. And finally they wave at each other and everything, and she pulls out. And I go, well, gosh, that was such a great cake. Who'd you give it to? She goes, she's some country singer or something like that. I don't know much about her. I go, well, do you know her name? She goes, yeah, it's Bobby Gentry or something like. I said, Bobby Gentry? That was Bobby Gentry on the card and you didn't tell me?
How did she not even know who she was and you made her a cake?
She knew her. She knew her mother, but she didn't know much about her singing career.
Oh, my God. So she knew Bobby Gentry. Your mother knew Bobby Gentry's mother.
No, my grandmother.
Oh, your grandmother knew Bobby Gentry. That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your grandmother knew Bobby Gentry's mother. So, and she must have found out she's having a birthday to make her. I mean, it must be a traditional.
Well, my grandmother could make any cake, and so probably a coconut cake or something like that. And so she made it to her and gave it to us. Like,
handing it through the window to Bobby Gentry. What a great story.
I'd like to mention that.
Oh, mercy. We got a little something going there, do we?
Tallahatchie.
Was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day.
Old Billy Joe.
I was out chopping.
You know what? I've driven over that bridge. It's like 8 feet off the ground, over the water.
Really?
He had to want to kill himself when he threw himself
8
off
feet,
that.
Yeah, you break an ankle.
Yeah.
Anyway, and on this day in history, in 1974, I remember this well. In fact, I was on vacation, I think, and I watched a lot of this stuff. I was also on vacation when William Kennedy Smith was on trial for raping that girl at his compound, the Kennedy compound, too, for some reason. I watched every minute of that trial. It was great. 1974, this day, the House Judiciary Committee voted 27-11 to recommend impeachment against Richard Nixon, that he obstructed justice in the Watergate case. And they're talking, and we'll talk about that impeachment going on today. I think I think they may be able to have the Republicans get together finally, and after all this has come out now, and the deal they tried to, well, we'll talk about it in a minute here, a couple minutes. First, also coming up, my new route home, and I tried it to work today, and I got a story. Anyway, and Pete Davis, trying to have a little decent lunch.
Just try.
You think the man could get a freaking sandwich or something without having a problem? Well, you're going to hear all about it in a minute. First of all, as promised, they're trying to divide us again, people. They're trying to divide us. They hate us. They're trying to divide us. And every couple of years this happens. Pete noticed this just a minute ago. NBC News is now luckily facing mockery and derision. But I think the NBC's even worse than CBS has become.
Yes.
Honestly, I can't believe in all the years that I've been watching television news, and all of a sudden, since Donald Trump came down that freaking escalator, and they're just trying to hate us and divide us. Anyway, social media mocking NBC for running a piece about how some black people feel unsafe camping outdoors because of you white people. A black woman did the story for NBC. The piece talks about her first time camping while going to a Texas survival school, basic wilderness survival class, which was mostly white people. She said, boy, the whole time I kept thinking about how fun it would be to have other black women in the course with me, or a similar course tailored to black women. She goes on to talk about a black woman who, during the pandemic, launched a blacks-only camping group called Outdoorsy Black Women because she needed a space for black women like me.
How do you gear something just for black women
Just for
camping?
black women campers. It gets even more specific. There were a lot of black people looking for safe spaces. Okay, again, this is NBC News. There were a lot of telling America and the world, there were a lot of black people looking for safe spaces to go camping and just experience the outdoors. But people go to campgrounds and there would be all these Trump flags flying everywhere. And she says, we wanted to know where they could go safely, go camping without being harassed or discriminated against with all these Trump flags. I wanted to build a safe space for that. I figured if I needed a space like that, there were other black women who probably needed that space too. So she did it. She has 15 chapters all over the country just for you black women to go camping without these damn white people, you dirty bastard racists. They're segregating themselves from everybody else to avoid white people. It takes, by the way, some of the comments. It takes a special breed of stupid to be traumatized by being outdoors.
The lady on
Wait a minute. It takes an even stupid, specialer brand of stupid to make something racist out of it. We're outdoors.
The lady on Fox, the African-American lady on the Fox, forget her name. She said, look, you're out in the woods. The bear doesn't care what color you are. Unless he likes dark meat or white meat.
Oh, my God. I mean, black people used to see for whites only signs during the Grim Jim Crow era. Well, how many are up today? How many did you see on your camping trip? I mean, it just, they're looking for it. Just this isn't real.
It's NBC trying to divide us. And what's funny is CNN did the exact same story 2 years ago.
There you are.
2 years. They're just recycling
Every once
racist
in a while.
stuff. Yeah.
But again, for what purpose? You can't. Are they that desperate? They won't cover the Hunter Biden story. They won't cover anything about the true what happened on the mostly peaceful January 6th demonstration. And we'll cover the truth about any of that stuff. The truth about any of the corruption and the banking scandal in the Biden family. But they'll go out of their way to tell you that if you're white, you're a racist because you offend black people who are camping when they see you. My God.
We got a couple YouTube here, and they make a good point, even though it's anti-Pete.
All right, that's fine.
Mark says, Cameron, you need to write down the Bobby Gentry story for Pete, so he doesn't tell you. And Cindy has come up with a name for it. She's going to call it the repeat list.
Oh. Well, but we get to tell stories more than these people. You bastards. They listen every minute of every show for 20 or 30 years, so they may have heard it in 2011.
Hell, they've named themselves the Kimmer Mafia.
The Kimmer Mafia.
That's right.
Mark
YouTube
says,
Mafia.
Mark says the Bobby Gentry story is the first story Kimmer couldn't turn around to himself.
That's true. I didn't even think of it.
So you going to do your travel one, or you want to do the Wendy's story?
Let's do the one. All right, now, Pete, we'll come in today. Again, I work from home. Pete works from home. Then we come and meet a couple hours before the show and put everything finally together. So when we get together, the first thing Pete said was, "Whoa, what happened? Tell me about what happened there."
I always go to Chick-fil-A on the way up here off Windy Hill.
Right. You come in early before before the show, so you can grab some lunch, get organized, and I come in closer to the air, by 1, usually 12:30. Anyway, so you got here.
I'm hungry. A handful of peanuts is what I eat before I leave.
Right.
And then I come down here, and it's very efficient. Chick-fil-A, you're in and out. They're very friendly.
It's a long drive. You're
really
ready for
nice.
lunch.
I'm ready to eat. And today I decided, no, I want a burger. So I'm going to go to the Wendy's across the street there in Windy Hill.
Wendy's, if you wanted a burger, you see a Wendy's.
Yeah.
Wendy's always. Now I haven't been to Wendy's in years and years, but they have very juicy, famous burgers.
The first tell that this was a mistake, there's nobody in there. There's nobody in the parking lot. There's nobody. I pull up to the drive-thru at lunch, and there's no line at the drive-thru. But I persevere.
Yeah, well.
I persisted.
All right,
so I put it there. It's got, basically, Wendy's, what do you want?
Wendy's, what do you want?
Wendy's. She didn't say what you want, but it's basically that was the attitude. And I said, well, I just want a cheeseburger, the number. She goes, okay, pull around. Well, there's two things to pull to. So I pull to the first one. Yeah. Wait a minute. And she leans out the second one because pull up. Yeah. I pull up and she leans out and she says, it's going to be about 12 minutes.
What?
I said, there's nobody here. And she goes, well, we just got an order for like 46 hamburgers. And I'm like, yeah, sure you did. Basically, there's nobody in there, so they're all just sitting in there not doing anything is what it looked like to me.
And everything's still in the freezer, obviously.
Nobody's working. They're just sitting around. God knows what they're doing in there. Maybe they did get an order for 46 burgers. She was just 12 minutes. And I said, I don't think so. She goes, I don't blame you. So I ended up going to Chick-fil-A, and I damn near getting a wreck trying to cross Windy Hill at noon.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's insanity. But I got my Chick-fil-A, and that mistake I'll never, ever. That's just the epitome of how this city has been run down since I was a kid. It's unbelievable. You can't get any service here.
Well, it's since the China kill virus, when the Democrat these last couple of years, and they were the ones who said let's shut everything down, and the COVID and the WHO and
for
Fauci and all these and the teacher. Everybody was against us, and they say stay home. Nobody wants to go back to work, and the customer service now it is horrible.
Can't find anybody.
If you can find it. My God. All right, 3:46, time for the 3:45 break here with the Kimmer, Pete, Flounder, and the crew here at 106.3. Look out.
Today, ladies.
I'll tell you what I want. We're here, I swear. 350. Flounder made the mistake of coming in and said somebody brought fried rice and chicken wings in here, and so we're debating whether to go grab it and save it for later, but so we got distracted. This is the Spice Girls, and it was on this day in 1996. The Spice Girls scored their first #1 British single with Wannabe. Stayed there for 7 years. What did I tell you? This was the weirdest little song.
I love this song.
Everybody liked it.
I love this
Everybody
song.
liked it. It was 7 weeks at #1, and it won Best British Written Single at the
What?
Special Awards.
There's no...
The Ivor Novella Awards in 1997, Best British Written Single and Best Single at the Brit Awards. I don't know
It's
what
a good
those are.
song.
The Girl Power song became the best-selling single by a female group, selling more than 6 million copies worldwide.
What was the
1996.
redheaded Jerry? What was her name? What was
Ginger Spice.
Ginger.
She's my favorite.
Yeah,
was
she had
my
that nice busty figure.
Oh, yeah.
All right, boys.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
by
believe
the
there
way.
also might be a videotape out there somewhere of her.
Oh, really?
Really?
Doing what? Doing what?
Oh, really?
Deb, what? Doing
Well,
what?
the weekend's coming up, so I'll give you some. By the way,
Beckoning to the Kimmer? What would she be doing with her?
Weenie Riot said he went and got a Baconator at Wendy's.
Yeah.
And it was just 2 slices on it. So he went back in and complained. They said, our location doesn't make it like the website.
Oh, my God. God, can you? I mean, honestly, I don't think I would trust going through drive-through service anymore. I did the last time. What was a donut place to go to the doctor's office with a bag of donuts?
Oh, my God. Look at this. Oh, my
There you
God.
go.
Is it hot? Is it spicy?
Hot lemon pepper.
There you go.
Well, we'll be getting that during the break.
No, yeah. Those are chicken. Are those drumsticks?
Those
or
are chicken wings. There's
Are they the? We have the bone in them or what?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they're all yours. Thank you so much. Did I mention? Did I mention Norman Lear birthday?
Norman Lear.
Norman Lear is still alive.
amazing.
Norman Lear is 101 years old. He gave us the classics All in the Family, The Jeffersons, One Day at a Time, Good Times, Maude. And he was a doer. He changed television.
By the way, Sophia, she hates that song.
And what really, I'll bet she does, because she has everything she's ever wanted, because she gets whatever she wants, I'm sure. Or he does. I know it's a guy. I swear to God, it's a guy. See? Let's see.
What else you got?
This is all they say about this in history. I can't believe it. In 1996, a pipe bomb exploded at Centennial Olympic Park in Atlanta, killing 1 person, injuring more than 100.
I was there.
And you were there, and when it happened, the whole deal. But again, it's just one line in history.
It's amazing.
After all this time, it's just like, it was like 15th in a row of things that happened on this day.
I told people there that the next day, because people were lamenting, we'll never live this. Atlanta's always going to be besmirched. I said, they will forget about this in 10 years. And
well, there you are.
Look, the city changed because of the Olympics.
Yes, it did.
Everything changed. And the only 2 things that got better, the sporting venues and the restaurants.
Yeah.
Everything else has gone to pot.
Yeah. By the way, happy birthday. Our friend Javier Medina contacted us shortly ago and said that his son, I guess it's a son, right? It's not, Logan. Logan is either 18 today or tomorrow. I'm not sure, but Logan's turning 18 years old. And Javier says, my son Logan's a great kid. We wanted to wish him a happy birthday. And should we say his dad's buying him a convertible? Should we mention it on the air?
Is it a Mustang convertible?
A Mustang convertible. And he says he hopes you join the Marines. This fall instead of going to school.
Well, why would he want to join the military right now?
Well, not right now. He should delay it for a shite.
By the way, we found a piece of sound.
Oh, the NBC thing, it's incredible. We mentioned now NBC is trying to divide America, saying if you're a white person and you go camping, if there's a black person near your area camping, you're a racist and you're going to offend the black person. And it says all you black people who want to go camping need to get away from the white people because you all have Trump flags.
It seems they may have a little point, even though we found a transaction between...
At a campground?
Basically, people going out in a wagon trying to go camping.
Wow.
And they meet another person that's not exactly a white person.
Yeah.
It was a Native American.
Uh-oh.
And there was an exchange.
Really? So this could happen.
This is a black family meeting a Native American out in the wild, and this is what happened.
Non-black.
Kappa walk. It's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Big as in. Take off. They darker than us. Woof.
You know, I was just looking through my list of movies I have on my DVR thing, including Blazing Saddles. I mean, and Young Frankenstein and all those classics that you couldn't make today.
To have a Jewish man pretending to be a Native American,
Indian,
saying German words to a black family.
Come on.
And the little kid, I'd forgotten this. The little kid, Rodney Allen Rippey.
That's right, Rodney, who was very famous for whatever the
McDonald's
series was. Yeah, but the McDonald's commercials. Yeah. And wasn't he also in one of the series shows?
Was he?
I think later. I
did not know.
Anyway, so we got that going for us, which is nice.
How was your drive home?
Oh, I got to say this now. Again, the other day, it was a horrible thing, and my Waze took me all through neighborhoods to get home. I never got on 285. I never got to 400 until Roswell Road at Northridge, and so I mentioned it, and my buddy Bill Sheehan, my Masters tickets guy, who I've totally humiliated myself. By the way, is such a great guy. And he called me and said, here's a route to take. And he gave me directions on how to do the route. So because I didn't get it off my waist thing before. So I did that, and it was really good. Now, new Nick, the intern yesterday, put in I didn't know that you could do this, but in your Waze app, you can scroll up and there's a setting thing. And so he hit the setting thing and he put a setting in for no highways to go on your route to wherever you want to go, but no highways. And so I did that going home last night, and it took me one route, which is great. I went through Atlanta Country Club, Soap Creek and stuff. And then today I said, I'm going to try it coming in today from my house to work. And I took got me in a whole different route, never got on to 285 at all, ever. And I'm driving through neighborhoods with beautiful homes, nobody on the road, speed limit 25 miles an hour, speed bumps in these beautiful home neighborhoods. Speed bumps. So again, I'm doing 20 miles an hour, listening to the radio, having a good time, relaxing. Nobody's trying to cut me off. Nobody's flipping me the bird. I don't have to get out of my car and hit anybody in the face. I'm just, and it took me about maybe 6 or 7 minutes longer than it might have gone on 285 and 400. And I'm telling you, and I'm looking forward to going home tonight because I know I'm going to be driving through these beautiful neighborhoods, going 25 miles an hour. And
using your Mr. Microphone. Hey, babe, I'll be back to pick you up later.
Remember, I bet they actually had those commercials.
We did them. In high school, we put them in the cars.
Oh, my God, Mr. Microphone.
Now, it's funny. Mark said, thanks, Pete, for reminding us to do this. But I did that because Flounder and I, it was his suggestion, came up with the Route 66 theme music.
Martin Milner and
George Maharis.
Yeah. And their little teeny convertible Corvette.
That was a stupid
with
show.
No trunk. It was dumb, but it was like The Fugitive with Richard Jansen.
And he got a job. Every city he went to, he immediately got a job.
He'd be in the same building as Gerard, and he'd run out the back door and get away. I mean, like they never had any more than two guys looking for him. He's like, hey, maybe we should have covered the back. Oh, no, why would we do that? And he somehow walks out the back and then disappears.
Oh, if there was a fire escape, he was gone.
50 yards, they could have seen him. He's running over there. They never caught him.
You have helicopters. You know that was based on?
Yeah, true story.
Well, that and the fact
the Gary, what's his name from the soldier guy?
Detective was named Gerard.
Yeah,
it was based on Les Miserables.
Oh, now I did not know that. Really? Yeah. I'll be damned. By the way, coming up, we'll talk some more about the Hunter Biden case here, but in a minute, so we're going to do some hippie news here in a second. Jill Biden's, the cuckold queen, Dr. Cuckolding Queen, Jill Biden's ex-husband, is now being interviewed. He hasn't really said much. Years ago, he said, yeah, he stole my wife. He said, yeah, he stole my wife. Because they tried to deny it, that it was, that's not, they're lying. Her ex-husband has slammed what he called the Biden crime family for targeting Jill Biden's ex-husband and Donald Trump. He links it together this way. He was married to Jill when she met Joe in the 1970s. He was married to the first lady, the current first lady, from 1970 to 1975. So she was fairly newly married when she started cheating on him like a tramp. She was married to Jill when she started circus-socolocking with the other guys. She met Joe, and then they denied the well-publicized story of them meeting on a blind date. That's nonsense. The ex-husband's now 75. He said the president's brother, Frankie Biden, tried to intimidate him during their divorce proceedings, claiming he faced repercussions if he didn't listen to what Jill wanted. Frankie, Jill's brother, said to the Biden crime family, comes up and he goes, "Give her the house or you're going to have serious trouble." And I said, "Are you threatening me?" And he says, "Needless to say, you're going to have problems." And then all of a sudden he put the tax man on him. And he's comparing himself to Donald Trump. And you're going to hear more about this in a minute, too.
Javier says, "Thanks, Kimmer. I'm actually getting him a car today for his birthday tomorrow if he joins the Marines."
Queen with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and Nick and Joe. On this day, 1986, Queen became the first Western act since Louis Armstrong in 1964 to perform in Eastern Europe. They played at Budapest's Nepstadion in Hungary. Queen in 86 had the gig filmed. It was released as Queen Magic in Budapest. 1986. That's the way you say Budapest.
Yep, it's two of them. That's right. There's two cities. One on one side of the river, one on the other side.
I did not. Separate cities?
Yep.
Do they call them Budapest East and West, or do people know by addresses?
One's Buda and one's Pest, and they just call it Budapest because it's now one big city.
Well, you're lying, or you're through your
not
teeth.
Lying.
You're a dirty, stinking liar. You're a lying bastard. You're a lying, dirty son of a bitch. I know you're lying to me again. God, I hate when he does this.
Look it up.
I'll look it up. Our birthdays include...
How much was that?
$3.
Well, you said $5 last time. I never saw the $5.
All right, $5. I only have $3.
to your name. All your money's tied up in coin.
Yes, quarters. I do. I have a coffee can with quarters in it. And when it gets when it gets to like $60, I take it in and put it in the machine. They give me a ticket for $60 or whatever it is, $80.
In order to get a local paper where I live now, I have to have 4 quarters on me.
A quarter back? Oh my God! Birthdays include Carol Leifer. You know her, the comedian?
Yeah.
Ganlabunger. She is 67 today. Also, I have a story, but I'll bet you won't let me tell it. Yesterday, our birthdays included Dorothy Hamill, the little Hamill camel, that cute little... Man, if there was a definition of cute and perky, that was Dorothy Hamill.
That
God.
Hair helmet.
Everything. I mean, her figure, her face, her smile, her haircut, everything was just perky, cute. That would be the girl.
Gwendolyn says that Pete is correct about Budapest.
All right.
You called me a liar.
I called you a liar.
On the air. A dirty, stinking liar.
I called you more than that, too. Anyway, Dorothy Hamill's birthday was yesterday. Today's birthday is...
What?
Peggy Fleming.
Oh, no. Oh, I hear a story coming
75 years old.
Oh, here we go.
Have I told this story on the radio or just on podcast?
Flounder, when was the last time
I told the story on the radio?
Fleming story.
I don't think I've told the story. We haven't been here that long. It was to be a year ago.
I think we have to let him do it.
I think we do.
All right.
God.
In fact, hey, is New Nick in there still? I can't. You have freaking midnight in there.
Neither of them know who he is.
Have you ever heard of Peggy Fleming? New Nick? I don't hear him. Yes, no? No. What?
No.
No, they have not.
And how about Joe?
No.
Morning Joe? Neither one has heard the name Peggy Fleming.
Yeah, they would not.
Well, we knew that. Peggy Fleming was the Olympic gold medal winning figure skater with a beautiful long brunette. And back in those days, in the 70s, they were kind of gliding on the ice, and they did a couple of toe loops, and it was not as athletic as it is now. Anyway, Peggy Fleming was a star, major star, hugely successful. I mean, everybody loved Peggy Fleming, and she was America's darling, and she was famous, and she made the rounds and does it anyway. Well, one morning on the radio station I was working at many years ago, they must have been in the 80s, and we did our interviews and arranged them in advance. I was doing a morning show, and so at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, the back door buzzers, and we were doing the morning show, and we go to get that overnight. There was a huge storm. It was tornadoes. Houses were blown apart. People had been killed. It was a horrible event. And the whole morning, since midnight, we were going live about nothing but storm damage. So all of a sudden, we realized, oh my God, we arranged an interview with Peggy Fleming to talk about ice skating and her new movie or her book or whatever, And said, well, geez, we can't do that now. People are dead, and we got the storm. And traffic's horrible. Nobody's moving. I mean, it's horrible. So we're going to have to cancel it. And Miriam Moad, who was doing the co-hosting with me in the morning, with Skinny Bobby Harper. The late, great Skinny Bobby Harper. And Skinny Bobby said, I'm not going to go tell her. And Miriam said, I'm not going to go tell her. I said, well, God, I'll do it. So I had to go back to the back door, and she was there with a woman who was handling it from the marketing company, the marketing girl. So these two girls are at the back door, and there's Peggy Fleming, who, by the way, was gorgeous. And they're at the door, and they're big smiles and stuff. And I opened the door, and I walked them into the little ante room there in the back of the newsroom. And I said, I feel so terrible about this. I don't know what to tell you, but we really can't put you on because we're doing wall-to-wall storm coverage. People died, and the damage you've seen, all the stuff. And I said, we just can't do it. It wouldn't fit. And Peggy Fleming said, you dirty I got up and came over here all this way, and you dirty bastards are not going to allow. And she starts screaming at me and says, I'm going to make sure you never work in this town. I haven't been going on and on and on about.
She had a lot of
She may not have used bad words like I'm using, but she was furious. But you didn't bother to call me. How could your lefty come down to this thing? His friends are fresh. And I'm going, Peggy, I always wanted to make love to Peggy Fleming. I mean, she was the goddess of all time. And she's screaming at me and threatening me and my career and everything else. And so I didn't know what number to call. I didn't have your number. We didn't know. Anyway, so it was a horrible thing. And she, gets up and slams the door and storms off. And I go, oh my God, I just had a great run-in with Peggy Fleming.
Behind all your firings throughout the years, it's Peggy
She probably
Fleming.
did it.
Pulling the string. What a clout she had.
Yeah, she did it.
So we've got a few people on YouTube wanted to weigh in. Grubinator.
Yeah.
Not the Peggy Fleming story.
Oh, stop it.
no. Clayton, oh, no. Sophia, no. Grubinator, pass the bong, Sophia. Sophia, way ahead of you, Grub.
I don't share. I guarantee you, she lifts that joint and she bogarts that joint and she will not share.
Bogart that joke. And Josh says, be back in September when the story is over.
Well, happy fall. 409. Anyway, that's my Peggy Fleming story. Back to Jill Biden's ex-husband. By the way, since she was only married for 5 years. I mean, so in the period of that 5 years, that's pretty, short amount of time to start cheating on your husband. I mean, I'll bet you for all you, in fact, all you women who have cheated on your husband, would you call us now, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. If you're a woman who cheated on your husband, I'd like to know how many years it was you were married before you started cheating on him.
And did he cheat first?
Well, I doubt that. I mean, it's,
the man never
cheats first. It's, supporting and respecting the woman, giving her everything and hoping that she'll appreciate it. Oh, God, that is so funny. So if you're a woman and you cheated on your husband, how many years were you married before you started cheating?
And how long did you think about it before you?
Right. How long were you, sneaking around and setting it up and flirting and, getting ready and getting pedicures every time you go to work?
You know what women do, and you know that girlfriends do this, women do this all the time. Yeah. That when another guy enters their life at work or whatever, they slowly start talking about him more and more. It's like they throw him up in your face, like they're going to work it in to normalize the situation. Oh, yeah, I'm going to
just telling my friend Henry over there.
Oh, he said something so funny today. So, and everyone thinks they're getting away with it, and all of them do it.
They're not getting away with it. Anyway, I wonder whether when she was cheating on her husband just after a few years of marriage, I wonder how she got caught. I wonder if he caught her, or if she, or whether she had the gall or the balls to say, "I don't love you anymore, and I'm cheating on you, and I'm leaving you." Or whether he caught her. I wasn't just curious. Anyway, he's talking to the press finally. He says this crime family business is horrible. And then he said when he was getting a divorce, again, she cheated on him. It was not true that there was some kind of blind date bullcrap. Anyway, her brother, Jill's brother, Frankie, says, give her the house or you're going to have some serious trouble. And he said, I looked at Frankie and I said, are you threatening me? Needless to say, 2 months later, my brother and I were indicted for a tax charge of more than $8,000. When asked to clarify whether he believed his ex's second husband was behind the tax charge, he said, I not only think it, I know it. In other words, Joe Biden had him arrested on a tax charge. He went on to compare his situation to Donald Trump, facing conspiracy, obstructing justice, all that kind of stuff, withholding documents. He's at least 3 indictments right now, and apparently 4th is coming. He said, I was on the wrong side of them, and they have literally come after me for 35 years in a row. It's hard to believe what they're doing to Trump. I can't let them do this to a president I love and respect. This is the only reason I've come forward. I've said nothing about the divorce, no bitterness, but Jimmy, Frankie, and President Biden are very dangerous, and it's tragic. I can't let them do what they did to me, to President Trump. I can't do it. He compared the charges against Hunter Biden to those the Stevenson, the ex-husband, faced. Hunter pleaded not guilty to failing to pay like $1.5 million in federal taxes. Hunter's charged with misdemeanors. Stevenson met Jill in 1969, got married in 1970. She was 18 years old. Stevenson claims that he had introduced her to this is incredible. Her ex-husband says he introduced her to Joe Biden, who at the time was a council member campaigning for the U.S. Senate and was married to his wife, Nelia. He said, the ex-husband said, I threw a fundraiser for Joe Biden in August, raised several $1,000s. I introduced Joe to Jill in 1972, right before the election. Jill, Joe, Nelia, and I were in his kitchen. How do you forget that? Nelia Biden would die 4 months later in a car crash. And Stevenson, the ex-husband, said he suspected Biden and Jill were having an affair in August of 1974 when Jill was 23 and Joe was 31. By October, he was sure of it. Their car, a brown Corvette, was involved in a crash, he discovered, and surprised, he asked the man who informed him about the crash for details. He looked at me and said, oh, well, your wife wasn't driving. I said, her beloved Corvette, and she wasn't driving her beloved Corvette? He said, no, Senator Biden was driving. That's when Stevenson confronted Jill, asked her if she was having an affair with Biden. She didn't say anything. She just looked at me. I said, you have to go. You have to get your own place. And he kicked her out.
Good.
Good for him. Didn't have to wait 30 years. It was kind of, 2 years of cheating was kind of short. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's 414. Sorry, I don't know. Really, everything's fine. Everything's fine now. Yeah.
Commercial. Let's go to commercial.
Coming up, Honder's business people. By the way, we got Flounders Follow. We got some funny stuff, right? Don't we? We got some, we'll do all that stuff. And my actual stuff, Hunter and the Plea and McConnell and Twitter jokes and a billion things. Coming up with Kevin, Pete, Flounder, the whole crew here with a 4:15 already. Look out.
Everybody coming in hot.
Full on there and Pete and the Kimmer and New Nick and not Morning Joe. Actually, not Intern Joe, Morning Joe. And, here we go. It's a good song. I like this song. I like her stuff. Tina Turner, baby. Yeah. They known for her legs. They'll dance around those hot legs and heels.
What song is this?
Better Be Good to Me.
Huh.
This is my favorite Tina Turner song.
Really?
I love the beat. You can't stop not listening to this beat. Boom.
Paul Rudd does a really funny karaoke version of this.
When?
Say I.
A couple years ago.
Should I, baby? You better be good to me. Boom, ba, da, da, da. That's right, baby. You better be good to me. Tina Turner. Yeah, there you go. Finally, Tina Turner, 1976 on this day, filed for divorce from her wife-beating husband, Ike. She should have killed him years ago. They were married for 16 violent years. He would beat the crap out of her their entire marriage. They had a great musical partnership, but he beat her mercilessly, and she should have killed him years before.
Another Pete story. Everybody,
right,
gird
sir.
your loin.
Please do.
When I was going to England a couple months ago, the news broke while I was sitting there at the, what do you call it? You're sitting there waiting for the plane.
The concourse.
Concourse. Sitting there, Wayne had stood me up, so he didn't come visit me.
Oh, boy.
And we're sitting there, and the news broke, and everybody, no matter what age or race or whatever, everybody was looking around and looking at their phones going, oh my gosh, Tina Turner died. It was like amazing that she had been gone out of the limelight for so many years, but everybody knew who she was, and everybody was like, oh, damn.
I forgot she died.
Yeah, a couple months ago, wasn't it?
I forgot she died.
Yeah,
I did. I swear. I'm so. God, does that mean I'm losing it, or I mean, I know I've lost a little something off my fastball, but I do not remember that she talked about her dying.
It only took you 3 hours to realize I was wearing your shirt today.
Well, not everything's a thing, you know. Oh,
Welcome to the party, pal.
That's the shirt, yeah. Well, I guess I just have to admit that
she's
I'm
dead.
Well, I sort of remember now, actually.
So obviously it impacted everybody except you.
Well, clearly. Well, I used to, look. I mean, she had sexy legs, and she was sexy, and and I love that song. Better Be Good to Me. It's just everything about that song is great. It's great beat. It's syncopated, a lot of upbeat stuff.
Did you ever see her in Thunderdome, the Mad Max movie?
Yes,
I did.
What'd you think?
I don't remember. I remember seeing her, and I can't remember.
It wasn't a very good movie.
No.
Yeah.
No. But again, it was still entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why was she particularly? I don't remember her being
she was a
naked
baddie.
or anything.
She was a baddie.
Yeah. On this day in rock and roll history, by the way, 1958, fans of the rock and roll were warned. On this day in 1958, rock and roll fans were warned about the music. Tuning into music on the car radio could cost you more money. Researchers at the Esso gas company said the rhythm of rock and roll would cause the driver to be foot heavy on the pedal, making them waste fuel. This was an actual research project. Now, let me ask you this. Morning Show and New Nick, have you ever heard?
Something.
They're not in there?
Yeah, doing something right now.
Oh, they are?
They're busy.
Oh, never.
they're here. They're here.
Have you ever heard of Esso gasoline? ESSO.
I know. The Esso Club at Clemson.
Yeah. Okay, have you guys ever heard of Esso gasoline?
No, neither of us have.
Well, a precursor to what's going on now, and it was like Exxon. It was a big red and white circle your sign, ESSO. And oh my God, I just had a great memory. Oh my God.
Oh, here comes a story.
No. 1962. Prep school, the Lennox School for Boys, prep school, and oh my God, I'm trying to remember his name. The master who taught math and trig and advanced calculus and all that, whatever. He had a photographic memory, and we used to. I've mentioned before at prep school, we used to have chapel every night. We'd go a church service before dinner every single night. We'd walk up to the church, have our chapel service, and we would sing hymns. And he had memorized the entire hymn book and the hymnal and the prayer book. So whenever time he turned to hymn number 416, he would just sing it. He'd never used a book. He memorized everything. He knew all this. It was the smartest guy.
What does this got to do with this?
Well, he was our teacher guy, and I remember one time he was a free. We thought he was a molester. At night, once in a while, a guy would say, "I felt like I got rubbed on last night or something in the dorms." And nobody trusted him. He was kind of freaky. Anyway, but one time he tried to make a joke. He had no sense of humor. it all. So he tried to make a joke, and he said to the class, so he was teaching Latin. He said, okay, I said, who here can spell ipso, like ipso facto? Who here can spell ipso? And one guy said, oh, I can, IPSO. And he said, oh, why don't you turn yourself into a gas station? Esso, gasoline, Esso, 1962.
Ipso.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with each other.
Well, it's ESSO and IPSO. IPSO gasoline. I go to the bathroom, SO. Oh, my God, you didn't get that?
No.
I urinate, SO gasoline, IPSO. Oh, my God. But the point was this genius of things was so weird that was his best joke, and it was on SO gasoline, which is the news today, which is why I mentioned, oh, my God, you people are unbelievable.
They still have the SO Club at Clemson.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
And is that a club on gasoline, or I don't know what it is?
Why are you pointing at me, Flounder? Flounder's pointing at me.
We have a phone call.
Oh, my God.
We're on the wrong. We have to change the screen. We didn't even know that.
Joe.
My God, man. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. You're on the radio, man. How's it going? What's up?
Oh, hey, Kimmer.
Hey, man.
Man, listen.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried.
All right, now.
The feds say that for the January 6th people.
Yeah, the most
that they already got 1,000 people convicted in jail, and they say there's going to be at least another 1,000 that they're looking for.
Yeah, probably more than that. Probably 10, 12,000.
A few dozen of Donald Trump's lawyers and cabinet. And
they're all going to be in there, too.
So we're talking about 2,000, 3,000 MAGAs.
5,000, 6,000 MAGAs. They should be in jail because they hate trannies. They hate liberals. And, there's not enough room. There's not enough room.
We're going to have to build some more jails for all the MAGAs.
For all the MAGAs. Because, the MAGAs are pretty much, like the FBI says, the most dangerous group in America is MAGA Republicans.
Yeah.
Didn't you get sick when they attacked America on Chance? Didn't that make you sick to your stomach to see
that? Wasn't America.
I didn't attack America, you idiot. You make
Congress.
me sick because you're keeping it up. Anyway, thank you, Joe. That's fine. We need more jails for all you MAGA Republicans.
If it's an insurrection, you'll know if it's an insurrection.
Trust me. Mostly the only person no cop died on January 6th.
Nope.
No cop died because of January 6th. The only person who died on January 6th and because of January 6th was an unarmed woman who was shot in the neck by a reckless rogue police officer who was known for his careless equipment handling, where he left his gun in a bathroom one time, and he shot her in the neck because he was so scared when she came through a window unarmed as a girl. He shot her in the neck, and you freaking liberal Democrats like Joe the phony are saluting the cop as a hero for saving the democracy, which is not a democracy. You dirty, stinking phonies. You ought to be in jail.
Every 100 years or so, I think politicians should feel they need to run for their lives.
I'll tell you what. I mean, everything about that day, and they said, we had to run for our lives. Yeah, they were walking gently and slowly.
All the videos.
You saw the video, Nancy Pelosi was the last one out, and she had to run for her life. They showed her casually strolling with her friends, down the side. Remember the guy with the buffalo hat, the Indian buffalo hat guy? He was given a tour of the building by police officers, never did anything, never raised his voice. They said, we'll unlock this door. Remember, they showed the video.
He said a prayer.
And finally, he said, let me pray, and let me go to the prayer. He said, I want to go to the prayer room, and they took him to the prayer room so he could pray for his country. And when the judge, he had been in jail for like 2 years, solitary for 2 years. When the judge finally saw the video, the judge said, okay, dismissed, you're done, go home. Finally. I mean, don't be telling me about this January 6th crap, Joe. You freaking dirty, stinking liar. I hate people like you. You're ruining our country, and you're trying to get people to believe you, and some people do believe you. You're the problem. And thank you, Georgia. If they impeach Biden, it's not going to go anywhere because of the liberal Georgia. We now have gone blue. Georgia's senators. Anyway. Oh, by the way, let's 4:30. I'm out of time. I can't believe it. Coming up. McConnell joking? Sir, you're going to be dead soon. I'm sorry. You really ought to check that out. 4:30, we got more. Stand by. Look at it. Bruce Cheatstein coming up here. Also coming up, bragging about Atlanta Safe House, where I got my 2 safes. And boy, if you're looking for a gun safe or a security safe or a business safe, you can get up in the evening or come home in the morning either way with Atlanta Safe House, because your assets are protected. They got them all. And it's not those little cheap things you get at the Walmart or something. We're talking real safes here. They really are just wonderful. They'll install them any way you want. We'll talk more about them a little later on. Atlanta Safe House. Tell them the Kimmer sent you when you check out atlantasafehouse.com right here. 435.
I once had an apartment over a bank. My assets over $10 million.
Oh, there you go. In fact, I had a couple of big safes, and you feel like a banker when you go up to the dial, 22 left, 32
Did you ever
left.
forget it?
It's so cool. No, yes, I forgot it. You have to have it posted somewhere. I didn't get how many, sure I forgot it.
It's like high school.
Yeah, exactly. If I try to tape it somewhere, no one will find it, stuff. No, anyway, it's a very cool. All right, we're playing Bruce Cheatstein because on this day, 1976, Bruce sued his manager, Mike Appel, for fraud and breach of trust. Case dragged on for a year, halting Bruce Cheatstein's career. An out-of-court settlement was reached apparently sometime after 1976, and Bruce went on to cheat on his beautiful young wife after just a couple of months of marriage and go skank hunting and was totally successful. Okay, 436 here with the Kimmer Show with Pete and Flounder. And by that, it's National Intern Day.
Is it?
So we didn't know. So all right. So new intern Nick. All right, stand on one foot and repeat the Marine Corps hymn. Okay, ready? Go. Oh, sorry. Birthdays include Maya Rudolph, 51 today. In Bridesmaids, former Saturday Night Live star, Maya Rudolph. I would say I've always thought she was clever. And historical note here, on this day in 1940. And what's up, Doc? Geez, that wasn't bad.
That was pretty good.
Oh, my God. I wasn't even going to do that, and I just did. Let me try that again.
You have a future.
Here you go. Yeah, what's up, Doc?
Wait a minute. Bet you can't do it 3 times in a row.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
See,
I blew it. Yeah. Yeah, what's up, Doc? What's up, Doc? I got to do them while I do. Yeah, what's up, Doc?
Okay, I think we got it.
You the suffering succotash. On this day in 1940, Bugs Bunny made his official debut when he teamed up for the first time with Elmer Fudd. So what did we would have happened? We can see it was. With Elmer Fudd, yeah, what's up, Doc? And it was Warner Brothers, not Disney.
Right, Warner Brothers.
Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, Warner Brothers cartoon, 1940, first time called A Wild Hare, Hare. It was the first cartoon with Bugs Bunny in his final redesign instead of a much earlier, goofy-looking Bugs Bunny.
And he was obnoxious at the beginning.
Yeah, that's right. It was more like a Roadrunner kind of a thing than a Bugs Bunny stuff where he was causing trouble and being nasty.
Except the Roadrunner didn't talk.
No, Roadrunner did not talk. No.
Did you see a meme where some guy found out the average coyote, I'm going to make up these numbers, the average coyote can run like 40 miles an hour, and the average Roadrunner can only do 12 miles an hour?
Yeah.
He said, my entire childhood was a lie.
Yeah, they would eat a lot of them. 438 already.
You lived out there. Did you ever see one?
Yeah, I remember. I can't remember where, but I have a vague memory of driving through the desert. I was probably leaving to go somewhere, and because you don't normally drive through the desert, you drive in the city. And I remember seeing Roadrunners, and I remember seeing all the cacti, including the real Saguaro, is that what they call them? And I remember seeing a Roadrunner, and they were teeny. I thought they were bigger. They were little bitty things, yeah.
And it took
almost
a second
birds.
to realize what it was. Oh, my God, that was a Roadrunner.
Yeah. And have you ever seen tumbleweeds?
Yes, I have.
Man, I saw them driving once, and I almost got clobbered.
In Wyoming, I saw.
Yeah, it was either Wyoming. It might have been Wyoming or Montana. I can't remember, but it was rolling tumbleweeds, and there must have been 1,000 of them.
I know.
And by the way, tumbleweeds are big. They're like 4 feet round, and they're twigs. I mean, they're hard. They're not feathery little dust balls.
No.
If you hit one in the face, it'll take your face off.
They don't put up with any crap.
No, they're twigs. They're woods.
There's no mouthing off to them.
They're branches. They're curved branches of trees that are 30 miles an hour in front of you across a highway.
I am Groot.
Anyway, 439. Kimmer, Pete, Flounder, and intern Dave. So congratulations on those. Mitch McConnell. I'm kind of surprised that, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that he's not in the hospital. In fact, he may have. I assume he had himself checked out last night. We saw yesterday. You heard him, saw him on TV if you saw TV, and you heard him where he just froze at the podium and went into what I'm sure was a TIA, a mini stroke. And I mentioned yesterday, my mother had a bunch of them before she passed away.
But didn't it take a while to get over it? Not just a few minutes?
Not really. Well, not really. And the problem was she would just stop talking. She would just be there, and all of a sudden she would just have a look on her face like she was just dreaming or daydreaming or something. And she would eventually come out of it. It was not, she wouldn't fall over or anything, but it was just like you were spaced out. And they were called mini strokes, TIAs, I think they were. Anyway, Mitch McConnell, he's been in office for almost 40 years. He made a joke about him going spaced out yesterday. I swear I bet he had a mini stroke, and I know I'm not a doctor and I can't prescribe what he did and thing, but I'm just telling you. He had a mini seizure of some kind, and quote, Mitch McConnell said, quote, "The president called to check on me. I told him I got sandbagged." Got sandbagged after Biden tripped over the some reaction. At least you didn't need to be tossed into a van. Remember Hillary Rodham Pea Stinky Fart Cabbage when she had that spinal rod up the back of her dresses and she got to her van and they had to haul her into it. They had to pull her into the van. She couldn't move her feet up.
Danger,
Will shove her into the van.
Danger.
And one guy says, well, that's one way to look at the bright side. Somebody said, I dare you to say someone in your own party should not be in office. You'll get the most ridiculous hate messages ever. You're not allowed to criticize your own team. That's not a problem exclusive to liberals, but that's what the Democrats are doing. Maybe they can debunk stories and swap stories with Joe Biden on how they worked in public service to help themselves get rich and not help people who put them there. There would be only one story because every day the same story is brand new to the two of them because they'd hear it for the first time every time they told it. One corpse calls another to check on Jim. This is Biden and Mitch McConnell together. One corpse calling another to check on him. Dear God, how do we get the nursing home residents out of running our country? It's pathetic on both sides. Mitch McConnell says he's fine. I've been telling people I'm fine for years, too. Maybe the heat will do him in tomorrow. One more. Maybe it's time for new people. Mitch McConnell stops talking, has to be led away. Mitch McConnell, 81. Joe Biden, 80. Nancy Pelosi, 83. Maxine Waters, 84. Chuck Grassley, 89. Dianne Feinstein-Cheatstein, 90. Klaus Schwab, 85. George Soros, 92. Mitch McConnell observes Babylon B. Mitch McConnell observes a 19-second moment of silence for Ukraine. Oh, that's cold.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's cold.
Yeah, it's fun. The New York Times in the 70s did a huge piece on the Soviet Union, and they called it a gerontocracy because everybody was over 70, and that was one of their problems. And this Chinese dissident immigrant posted a thing of Mao toward the end, Mao Zedong.
Yeah.
The thing was, Mao always left before everybody else in that big meeting.
Yeah.
And he couldn't stand up anymore. And he sat there, and it got real uncomfortable because he couldn't get up. And they kept clapping and clapping. And finally, the premier, Zhou or whatever, came up and said, Mao wants to stay and say goodbye to all of you as you leave.
Yeah.
And that's how they got around it. And the thing was that in China and the Soviet Union, you could not question your leader's health. And here we are.
Yeah. I'm sure. Is that a call or is that an old call?
It's Caleb. Do you want to talk to him?
Is that bad? You look nervous.
He's the guy who changes his name all the time and says he's a liberal.
Oh, sure. Why not? He's going to tell us how great the economy is because the figures came out and said, boy, the economy is wonderful.
It's down 237 today, but why not?
No, it's fine. This is who? Caleb? Who?
Caleb.
Nope.
Caleb. Hey, Caleb. How's it going?
It's Joe.
Joe. Hey, Joe.
Same guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Hey.
streak is over. Actually, I didn't call about the economy, but the streak is over today. The Dow was
13
down.
whole days.
I know.
It tied the all-time record last set in 1897.
I know. I'm hoping to get the gas
That's the record
prices.
that was
Yesterday, I paid $4.60 for gas. I'm hoping to get it up to $5. That would really show the economy is just
my
booming.
God, Kimmer.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I live in Sandy Springs too, Kimmer, and I'm paying $3.60.
Oh my God, that's what he's only paying $3.60. For regular. Oh my God, Joe, that's such good news.
Yeah.
Let's remember 2 years ago it was $1.80. So I guess the economy's really booming now. You must be so proud of your president for tripling your gas prices. Wow. And by the way, congratulations, Bud Light. Now, Anheuser-Busch is now laying off hundreds of people because of they have gone out.
Well, their stock is doing
they're
great.
Just, doing great. Their whole stock of the company there. So, anyway. All right, Joe, thanks, man. I appreciate you calling.
Joe, Caleb.
Oh, my God. I mean, come
It's all
on.
the same
So
guy.
that's the second time he's called. I mean, for someone
what's the
who doesn't
point?
like you so much, why does he listen to you all day?
Well, because he tells, hey, I called the camera today and tried to da-da-da-da-da. You know, some people get excited about that kind of thing.
Jollies.
Well, I didn't want to say it that way, but use a biblical phrase. Never mind. Talking about shaking your hand. Oh, my God. Well, good night, everybody. 4:45. That's it for me.
Out of context.
See ya. See, this is either Wings.
That's Wings.
It's Wings, of course. Just silly love songs. That's all he ever does. Paul McCartney just does these stupid, silly little love songs. Now, see, that shows that I know that that's why he wrote the song Silly Little Love Songs, because he was criticized for writing silly little love songs. I show you my Beatlemania there, as he should have been.
I love Paul McCartney, but he wrote some of the dumbest lyrics of all time.
Well, you know, I think we're talking, 60s and 70s. The music was way different, and it was commercially successful. They couldn't stop. I mean, I would think they just kept doing it because, that's what they did. So anyway, good for him. And we're talking about Wings because on this day in 1974, Wings began a #1 run for 7 weeks with Band on the Run. The sales were modest initially, but the commercial performance with 2 hit singles, Jet and Band on the Run, made it become a top-selling album of 74 in Britain and Australia. In addition to revitalizing Paul McCartney's critical standing, it says, it remains McCartney's most successful album and the most celebrated of his post-Beatle works.
His first 2, Ram and Red Rose Speedway, did not do well.
Yeah.
George Harrison was kicking all their butts for the first 2-3 years.
Yeah. Birthday list today.
Plus, he had a lot more material built up as well, I believe.
Because they wouldn't let him
play.
do
They
any
wouldn't
of it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, but anyway, I did the whole sitar thing. I think they kind of lost track with it. Stopped liking each other. That sitar thing was a bad move for the Beatles. I'm sorry, that ruined everything.
He did not.
It was over.
That did not break up the
That broke up the Beatles. That damn sitar. That
Brian
stupid
Epstein dying was the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
their
well,
manager.
And then Yoko.
Let's go for a
Yoko
swing.
didn't help, and then the money didn't help.
Yeah.
There's a video I saw trending on, or it wasn't really trending, I just saw it on Twitter, but have you ever seen the video of when Lennon plays with Chuck Berry?
Yeah.
And Yoko's to the side? They just turn her mic off because she's just yelling. She's just screaming.
That's screaming.
And at one point, Chuck
Literally.
Berry
Berry
is looking at her like, what?
Where did you get her?
Control your woman, John.
How did she get in? Oh, really? I mean, her song was screaming. I mean, literally just screaming.
Art.
Anyway, birthday list. Nikolai Coster-Waldau, 53. You may know him better as Jaime Lannister on Game of Thrones.
He should have been a bigger star. His agent's horrible.
I'm sort of amazed at that. Was he all European? I mean, he should have been. Why was he over here doing
He was
stuff?
in Oblivion with Tom Cruise, which is a good movie, with Morgan Freeman. He's in that, but he just plays little parts.
Yeah. Nikolai Coster-Waldau is his name. Have you ever heard of Triple H? He's a WWE superstar, real name Paul Michael Levesque. He's Triple H and wrestler guy, 54. He's married to Vince McMahon's daughter, Stephanie, and became head of WWE Creative with Stephanie as CEO, and then Vince stepped down. So anyway,
we have a phone call.
A phone call, another phone. Hope it's another liberal. Let's see who's hello, it's a Kimmer. Who's this? Welcome.
Don.
Hello, Don.
Hey. Kimmer.
Yeah. Hey,
it's George Bush, actually.
Yeah.
No, it's Don.
Oh, it's
it's
our Comedy Central here with Don. Hello, Don. Well, I wonder who this is. I can never tell. Well, some celebrity calling. Hello, celebrity call-in line. Hi, who's this?
No, it's Don. I wanted to talk about my...
you just said it was George Bush. Go ahead. No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead. Really,
well,
that's
it could
fine.
be George Bush, you know.
Well, you could do it if you wanted to.
Do it.
Dear God.
No.
Yes, sir. Right.
No, I got a better one after I get finished telling you about. I had a heart attack about 2 years ago after my COVID shot because I had to. I worked for Northeast Georgia Medical Center, and they
made you get a shot. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they made us, but I could have got out of it. I kind of trusted Trump and thinking that maybe he wouldn't give me anything.
Well, it's not his fault.
Oh, I know. I totally agree.
All right. So what's your innocence? Yeah. You had a heart attack.
I just wanted to mention that, and I know there's plenty of other people out there that, I hope maybe one day I'll be able to sue Pfizer for it. I doubt it, but
I don't know about that.
I'm recovering. I'm recovering from a motorcycle accident that I had like a year.
I think you told me that. Yeah, you messed up your head pretty good or something, didn't you?
No, my heel.
Your heel. Your heel, head.
Hip.
Your hip, heel, hip. Yeah, that H, the whole H is a series of words. Just, you got to, like that. And you could be heel, heart. You never tell the first letter alone.
I'm from the South,
Yeah, well, there you are.
So let me tell you, I got you an impression.
I was fixing to.
All
right.
Yeah, this is Mitch McConnell.
Well, hey, Senator.
That's pretty good.
We're just talking about you, sir. How you feeling?
Alias Cecil Turtle. Oh, sorry about that. When Connie wants me
Connie,
to come to bed, I say, I'll be there in a minute. Half hour later, I'll be there in a minute, Connie.
A half hour later, you rascal. I get it. Don. Mitch.
That was pretty good, Mitch McConnell. Right?
Lordy. Tell you, you don't get this everywhere.
No.
Maybe a promo.
That's why they waited. That's why.
Could be a sequel.
That's why they waited all these years to put us on the radio again when they could have had us many years. But this may we just have to get it all.
Had to train the talent.
We weren't ready back then. Now we're ready with Don's final contribution. A couple of weird things. Oh, we're going to talk about wokeness and stuff here in a moment, just for a brief moment. Mike Luck Hates Americovich, the cartoonist for the Al Jazeera Constipation, has a new thing about there's a gender hearing today in Congress. They had a girl who had her breast cut off because she wanted to be a boy and started getting transitioning stuff with her parents' permission and doctors when she was 12. And now she hates everything about life and herself and all the people who screwed her over. A hearing on transgendering stuff and tranny stuff and mutilating children under the age of 18. How could you ever allow anything to happen to a child under the age of 18? When they don't have legal rights. Anyway, whatever. So his cartoon shows the Republican Barbie dolls. Republican Barbie dolls are the Barbie doll from The Handmaiden Tale, the Republican Handmaiden Barbie, the Republican Pay Gap, girls don't get as much money as boys do Barbie, the student, oh my God, my crushing student loan debt that I won't pay off crushing Barbie, and the forced pregnancy birth where you take a baby whether you like it or not Barbie. From the hey, if you're going to have a loan, pay it off. You do what you're supposed to do. And either stop having sex or use protection or take responsibility for it. And by the way, let me ask you this. If every woman, these liberal, socialist, leftist chick, furry-legged, hyphenated, feminated femme gals, every one of you is saying, hands off my body. This is my body. You don't have a right to do anything to it. Well, then if you get pregnant, tough luck. That's your body. Don't go blame it. Why should you ask me for it? Don't blame me for anything. You did it. It's your body.
Keep your legs
You're
closed.
in charge of it. If you don't want to have a baby, then don't do things to give you a baby. I mean, come on, or do it the Kimmer way or something. There's a lot of options.
If you're getting knocked up, either A, it's a miracle these days, or you're just lazy.
Yeah, with a low sperm count from all the men you've ruined. Well, that's true. I thought that's what you meant.
Where did that come from?
Well, you said nobody getting pregnant now because men don't have any sperm count worth of crap.
That's not where I was going, but I
where
enjoy where you're going on that.
Yours could be.
I
even
said
better.
every once in a while, something happens. Every once in a while, something happens, like the rubber breaks or whatever goes on. But most of the time, it's so cheap and easy to get birth control in different ways. If you're still getting pregnant these days, especially more than once, you're lazy and stupid.
Well, now I wonder. I don't even know where do women all use this the rubber the condom thing or are on pill. Nobody uses pill anymore. And so,
I thought all of them were on the pill, but I guess not. But there's implants you can do. There's implants in other places you can do.
Idea.
There's all kinds of stuff.
I don't know. What dating women? I don't know what.
Make the guy wear something.
Yeah. Well, again, it's your body, so therefore you're totally responsible. So don't blame anybody else if you get pregnant. Don't go bitching about the fact that somebody made you keep your baby. It's your body.
Morning after pill.
Give
Which
me a break.
is disgusting, but it's out there.
Yeah. And by the way, we're going to talk about a tranny thing in the manifesto here in a second, too. And also what Hawaii's health department is helping parents helping therapists cover up a child's gender crisis so the parents never know. That's in Hawaii, the State Department, Health Department of Hawaii. But first, before we get to that, this guy Ramirez, I love this Michael Ramirez, one of the great conservative cartoonists of all time. And they show the picture of the president of Disney, CEO of Disney, behind his desk. There's a little Mickey Mouse with a woke sign on the desk. And the president of Disney, CEO of Disney, is on the phone. He says, gee, I don't know why we're losing money. And on the desk behind him is the brand new poster for the new movie, Snow Polychrome, and the 7 vertically challenged but socially conscious climate change and gender advocates, as opposed to Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
By the way,
that's exactly the reason.
Last night, the Secret Invasion Marvel series ended up on Disney, and it ended after 6 or 7 episodes and everything. It's the lowest rated final episode of any Marvel Comics thing. It is the most boring and worst.
What's the name of the series?
It's Samuel L. Jackson. He's playing Nick Fury, and he's basically called Secret Invasions. The Skrulls, which Clay and Burke talked about, Clay and Buck, basically have taken over, and they're everywhere because they can look like us. It's an alien invasion, and they took the girl from Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke. and basically just ruined her. They wasted her.
She's not a hottie anymore?
She's a hottie, but they just wasted her character. In fact, everybody's saying, gosh, don't let her do series finales anymore because they keep screwing the poor girl up.
Was it just a bad ending that nobody...
It was boring. It just wasn't entertaining. And it's because, and Marvel used to be, you could look forward to all the Marvel stuff. Well, this year they had the bad Ant-Man movie, and now they had this bad episode of Samuel Jackson, who I'm over Samuel Jackson, by the way. But Disney has taken the Marvel stuff, and ever since they bought it, it's been going downhill like a freight train.
Audiences know this stuff. Audiences, you don't know what your audience... Here's what kills me. They don't seem to care what their audience wants. They're more afraid.
They will when they're all over work.
They're more afraid of getting doxxed from the lefts who aren't supporting them. They're not the ones who are going to keep them in business.
That's right.
It's people like us.
That's right.
You idiots. How could you not target your audience? I mean, seriously.
Because politics, they're Marxists. Politics is more important to them.
Oh, man. All right. Oh, my God, it's 5 o'clock. Holy crap. We haven't done a comedy bit. All right, we're going to make everything up this next hour, I swear.
Did you hit your elbow again?
Yeah, likely. It hurts like hell. Damn it. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Road guards out. Look out, 503. And it's only me. It's only the Kimberly, the Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, the mechanical mangler flounder at the controls. And we got new Nick the intern and not intern Morning Joe with this whole crowd here today on your Thursday afternoon, 503, almost 504. And we were just watching the news. Their lead story has been going on for some time now. Is no longer Hunter Biden. It's now the heat. Now they're saying it's very hot out there. America, 200 million Americans are under heat advisory. Well, it's, I was just thinking, Pete and I were just talking. Talk about changing in times. We never had air conditioning growing up. We never had, not in our cars. You didn't have it in your house. We had fans and screen doors and screen windows.
I was telling you, my grandparents in Mississippi, it was a big deal when we got the window unit put in there. And because my grandparents didn't want it.
Yeah. And I told you when I went to, after graduate school, I actually went after the Marines when I went to Phoenix and lived in Phoenix where 112 degrees, 15 degrees in the summertime. We had no air conditioning when we got there because there was no such thing.
And how many times as a kid you remember watching the news, Walter Cronkite, whatever, and it seemed like every other year in Chicago, 20 people would die because it was so hot.
Heat advisory, yeah, absolutely. It's been that way. In fact, tell us about our geology friend.
Oh, there's this guy, he's white hair. I forget where he's from, Britain or somewhere. And he basically says, I'm a geologist, been doing this for 60 years, and the only thing that controls our weather is that big orange thing in the sky. Basically. And you know what the Earth's default temperature is?
Yeah.
Ice age.
Yeah.
That these warm periods are the anomalies. Most of the time, the Earth has been in ice ages.
Well, there you are. And by the way, I do truly believe that if it came to it, that Mother Nature would be able to expel us. But you just burp us off.
That's what George Carlin said.
Seriously.
Before he died. He said,
I believe that.
Just shrug us off.
I think if she really, all right, that's enough. So, wank. Like a giant shiver. Oops, a daisy. Honey.
Wait for the shake.
There you go. Anyway, we haven't done a comedy bit. Have you got a Flounders funnies of any kind here? A Flounder? Should we do a little one here?
Yes, we do.
Let's do a little one here. And then we got sports coming up, and then we'll talk about trannies and LGBT stuff in a second. First, let's lighten the mood a little bit.
Little Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr.
Every relationship, there's the person that does the dishes and the person that lets them soak, right? They don't let them soak. They know you're going to do them. They're just waiting you out. And after a while, you can't take it anymore. They just sit there. You got to go out and you start doing it. And then what do? They sit in the other room and they wait like they don't know what you're doing. And they wait till they hear pots and pans. And that's when the show starts. That's when they come running in like, what? Oh, I was going to do those. What? And you're like, no, you weren't. They've been sitting here for 8 hours. I got my hands in room temperature waters with scrambled eggs floating around. Don't gaslight me. You're a animal. You erase my animals. Get out of my sight.
Bill Burr. He's like an animal. Chicks, man. Get out of my sight. 507, Kimber Pete Flounder and the crew. In Nashville, the 28-year-old tranny murderer who was killed by police after she butchered 3 children and 3 adults at the school, the Covenant School in Nashville. She had written a manifesto, which the federal Gestapo investigation has, but will not release for some reason. However, latest information has now come out that this girl who wanted to be a boy and murdered those people as a result because she was a tranny and was therefore dangerous. She was carrying a knife inscribed with her chosen name, Aiden. She had her clothing covered in handwritten notes, drawings, and numbers, including a plastic anklet, which was inscribed with the numbers numbers 508407. Nobody knows what that means. Nobody knows what why the words were written on her clothes. There are lawsuits to demand the release of her manifesto and other writings recovered at the scene of the crime and her parents' house. The killer kept journals and on other school shootings under her bed. Police recovered dozens of notebooks with drawings, including memoirs and a hand-drawn map of the Covenant School where she committed the slaughtering murders. She opened fire on the helpless kids and staff, killed 6 people. Now they say, well, she had an emotional disorder. Yeah. The FBI has a manifesto, and they're not giving it to us for some reason. And by the way, if you in Hawaii, the health department in Hawaii has now been training future therapists to learn how to conceal conversations with supposedly tranny youngsters so that the therapists would not mistakenly reveal to the children's parents that the kids felt they were trannies. The training is called Affirming Practice with LGBTQ plus Youths. Be careful about, here's what the document says. Be careful about what you document. Parents may be able to access the information. Shh. They're listed under a slide about confidentiality. You should always be the LGBTQ person's decision to whom and when they disclose their orientation or identity. It's not a safety risk, but it could be. Consider the youth's individual situation, any harm that may arise from writing about a youth's identity that the parents could find out. Sometimes a youth could be outed to their parents without them wanting to be and be disclosing the identity of your therapist, and you mistakenly make sure the parents find out somehow. We can't have that happen. Yes, in Hawaii, they need to have the State Department, or the Health Department, make sure they cover up training therapists on how to keep it a secret that your child wants to change genders. The presentation also asks viewers, I love this part, it asks viewers to understand their own perspective on gender role and sexuality and how they can use their privilege to support those who are marginalized. Here's the questions. What stereotypes have you been taught about tranny people? How do your beliefs align or differ from those of your family members, friends, and colleagues? What are your privileges? How can you use your privilege to support others who are marginalized? Now, wait, we're not done. The listeners and viewers of the presentation learn different types of prejudice. There's heterosexism, cissexism, homophobia, transphobia, toxic masculinity, microaggressions, micro-invalidations, micro-insults, micro-assaults. The slide presentation also defines minority stress, which is including additional stressors that people experience due to having a stigmatized minority status. Intersectionality. Sexual and gender minority individuals may additionally experience minority stress due to racism, xenophobia, and discrimination based on other minority statutes. I thought, what nonsense. I don't even know what this means.
It's hating on heterosexuals.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah. Hating on
This is the health department in Hawaii, an actual American state. And they're teaching how to hide gender stuff going on with a therapist who might mistakenly tell the parents, God forbid, what their kid's up to.
Because they think the kid don't belong to you, the parent. The kid belongs to the state. That's what they believe.
All right, now I'm going to find something. Flounder sent this a little while ago, and I was absolutely appalled at it. It is a classroom. See if I can find it here. Hold on a second. He sent it to me, and now I can't find it, but I'll get it shortly. Almost any time I can find it. Is this it? No, that's not it. Hold on. I darn near got it. If I could only find this. Twitch Mitch O'Connell. That's not it. Darn it. All right, Flounder, where did you? Oh, you know what? Did you send it? Oh, I know where you sent it. Hold on. He sent it on. He sent it on this thing instead. I got it. Here it is.
So how you been, Flounder?
Here it is right here. Here he said. All right,
Just waiting.
I got it.
Waiting.
Okay, here we go. Jessica Rojas sent. This is a disturbing and should be illegal normalization of pedophilia. She says, I want to vomit. Here's a book. And the book has 2 pages of it with a guy with a child on his lap. And the second page has a picture of a grown man with a child in his bed hugging cheeks together on his pillow. The first picture of the man with a child on his lap, and the dialogue says, my Uncle Pete comes over sometimes. What? Yeah, sorry.
Thanks.
My Uncle Flounder comes over sometimes. He lives with us every now and then. He is really kind to me, holding me, listening to me, and making me feel loved. Second page, they're in bed together with their cheeks touching on a pillow. One night, when he was touching me and holding me, he started touching my private parts. Over time, he taught me to touch and play with his. It felt very strange, scary, and a little good, too. He told me it was okay, that this means that he really loves me. This went on for several months. He told me, this is our special secret. And the image is taken out of context. According to readers, the book not only doesn't try to normalize pedophilia, but it suggests that homosexuality is the result of child abuse. The author, Richard Cohen, is an advocate for conversion therapy of gay people to heterosexuality. The whole idea of all this is just, I mean, it's you can see it.
Yeah.
Good Lord. All right, hold on a second.
I know, we're late, right?
No, I don't even know where I am anymore. It's
really late.
5:13 break. It's 5:15 or 5:14 or so. We're coming. We'll do better. I'll do better. Pete's next. Look out. Unbelievable. Some sports birthdays. Max Scherzer, the pitcher, 39 today. Golfer Jordan Spieth is 30. And Alex Rodriguez, who let J-Lo slip through his fingers, is 48 today. And now, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
Kind of breaking news that Flounder found earlier that Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow had to be carted off the field at practice.
Wow.
A little calf injury in his right leg, and it just gave way. Nobody hit him. So
he was really just running around. Oh my goodness!
We'll see what happens.
Well, it's summer training. That's not unusual.
It's hot.
Yeah,
no salt.
Yep.
Braves off today before beginning at homestand against the Brewers tomorrow night. Then Shohei Ohtani and the Angels come to town. In fact, he won today. He pitched and they won today.
Excellent.
The Halos seem to be all in, making a trade to try and push for the playoffs, but it's not going to work. He's not going to be an Angel next year. He's leaving. They are really making a huge mistake by not trading him. That's just my opinion. We welcome you.
Now will he be? He won't be pitching then. If he just pitched today, he wouldn't have 5 days rest.
Thursday.
Right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. No, he won't pitch.
He might.
He'll hit. You'll still see him if you want to go see him. You'll still see him. He'll play.
He might pitch.
Yeah, but he'll play no matter what. He'll still bat.
All right.
Right?
I don't know.
Isn't he their DH?
You're the one that seems adamant that he's not going to pitch.
Well, no. I'm just saying, if you were expecting him to go pitching, I think you may want to, double check yourself.
Saturday,
but clearly,
Sunday,
he's still
Monday, Tuesday. Maybe if they play Wednesday, he might.
They're not going to be here for 5 days.
Well, okay, they won't start till at least Monday. When do they start? Monday or Tuesday, Flounder? I think probably
I thought
Monday.
They were in this weekend. Okay. Well,
so then it would be a Monday, Tuesday, unless they're just playing two
Either
games.
way, you'll still see him because he'll be batting.
If only we had a staff of 400 people. I can't reach your phone from all that far away.
It's in their 5th game. He should be able to pitch on Wednesday, August 2nd.
That's right. Yeah, Wednesday.
I got tickets to that game for that reason.
Excellent. Well, there you are.
All right, see there.
That's new Nick.
So.
Or
Thank God
Joe?
he was here.
Is that new Nick, right? It's Joe. It's morning Joe.
It's Joe.
I can't see it. It's freaking but midnight in there. They have like black lights. It's unbelievable. I think they got chicks in there. I think they got chicks and weed. I think they got chicks and weed in that whole freaking place. Swear to God.
No comment.
I'm going in there.
Thank God Joe was here to correct you, though. On this date, 1928, Ty Cobb made his last regular season start at the age of 41. He singled and doubled. And then something happened. What do you think happened?
Oh, I think he got thrown out, and I don't know.
Imagine people hating him for 20 years. What do you think they did to him in his last
Ty Cobb. Oh, they probably booed the crap out of him when he no, what?
They hit him in the chest with a pitch.
Well, he was a nasty guy.
Sometimes he was. I've been to the Ty Cobb Museum up there in Royston. They do a great job up there, and they tell a different story. So you got to see both sides of what goes on.
Well, it was a different time also, and he was a different character, and he was didn't he get rich off Coca-Cola money too?
Oh yeah, he bought Coca-Cola stock early on.
Now, did you like the movie with?
I do like it. It's a lot of it's made up.
Yeah.
But I don't like that actor who played the reporter. No, I love Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh,
he did a great job.
I can't remember the name of the guy.
Yeah, the other guy, I can take or leave it, but I think it was a funny movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. Also, 1997, the Braves defeat the Reds 3-2 in Cincinnati as the temperature on the artificial turf reached 152 degrees.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's only today that we're having a problem because of the global warming. That couldn't have been global warming back then. That would be a lie.
What was that, blurble woman?
I'm sorry for off.
After a 2-day drunk baseball, I should have put a comma there. After a 2-day drunk, baseball owners woke up to the news they had re-signed Commissioner Rob Manfred through the year 2029. We did what?
Jeez.
Jägermeister is a cruel mistress. Why would they do that?
He's the worst. He's a bum.
He's the second worst commissioner in sports.
He's a punk and a woke bum. He's a coward and a chicken.
He is a coward. He is all that. Women's World Cup. I'm sure you're sitting on tenterhooks.
Oh, God, yeah. Hey, I understand that they played all this time and nobody won. Wow, it must be soccer.
Well, no, we got 2 wins here. The pulsating birthing people of Portugal shut out the Vietnamese Love You Long Times 2-0.
You're number 1.
And the naughty nabobs of Nigeria upset the Australian Dingo Ate My Babies 3-2. That was a big upset, by the way.
Huge upset,
big upset. The Falcons are going to fund the construction of a new USO Center in Bulgaria. The Falcons are doing this. Last month, Falcons head coach Arthur Smith and defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen, linebacker Lorenzo Carter, kicker Younghoe Koo, and tight end Felipe Franks went on a week-long United Service Organization USO tour of Germany, Romania, and Bulgaria. And while they were there, they occupied North Macedonia and reignited the Balkans conflict. So they did a lot.
How many military people do we have in Bulgaria that we have to have the Falcons? Why don't you do something for veterans here in Atlanta or here in freaking Georgia?
The veterans in Sofia Sofia there want to have a good time to hang out in Bulgaria.
Who cares about Bulgaria? How about, my God, man. And by the way, that's the USO.
Bulgaria.
I love the USO. USO was wonderful to me when I needed it. They called my parents when they thought I was dead. I thought I got blown. It was a national story back in the States when I was over at the place, and I damn near got blown up. And USO, was a friend of mine, called my parents to say he's alive. Don't worry about it. Everybody else got blown up, but I was alive.
They also called your parents when you acted out that time.
I was bad, and they said, you've got to come and get this boy.
And forget Desmond Ritter as the starting quarterback for the Falcons.
Yeah.
Turns out he threw not one but 2 interceptions at training camp.
Fire him!
Fire him!
Get rid of him. Oh, sorry.
It's time to move on.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
Get rid of him.
Here's something you don't hear every day.
No.
An NFL coach dissing another NFL coach out loud.
I heard about this.
And he's a jerk.
Weird.
Broncos coach Sean Payton called the work that Nathaniel Hackett and his staff did with the 2022 Broncos, quote, one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL, end quote, and said there were 20 dirty hands around quarterback Russell Wilson's career worst season, and basically just went on trashing Nathaniel Hackett, who was there like less than a year. You don't do that.
Oh, my God. And this is the former New Orleans Saints coach for 50 years.
Well, he's got class. Doesn't he, from New Orleans?
Well,
they all do.
Not anymore. But holy criminy. What were complaints that they mismanaged his throwing pattern, a game plan?
And then it gets worse. He said they spent so much time, and he said blanking time, trying to win the offseason, PR, the pomp and circumstance, marching people around and all this stuff. And by the way, he's also saying the Jets are doing that this year, too.
Oh, with Aaron Rodgers.
So he attacked the Jets as well.
Real social, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of classless, I thought, that he would do that.
That's not good.
Defensive end Marcus Riddick, a 5-star linebacker who committed to Georgia in November, has flipped to Auburn.
Uh-oh. Oh, they get the bigger NIL,
no, my fingers were itching.
No, it's possible. Maybe got a bigger NIL. I mean, that's what's going on.
Yeah,
they changed not because it's a better coach, because they get more money.
Hugh Freeze would never do anything like that.
I doubt it very much, sir.
All right. By the way, Riddick is the 3rd-ranked player in Alabama, but he's got a weakness.
What's his weakness?
He can't see in bright light.
Really?
Riddick. See, Chronicles of Riddick. Okay.
Riddick.
We'll keep moving.
Bud.
U.S. Ryder Cup captain Zach Johnson is so good at his job, he's now schooling journalists.
He's schooling journalists.
At a recent news conference, a lazy reporter said, we don't know exactly what's going to happen this afternoon, but could you talk about Brian Harmon? And Johnson says, sure. Can you ask me some questions about Brian?
Oh, my.
Because guess what? Thank you, Zach. For years, I've hated the lazy question of, can you talk about this? Because most of them are lazy, the sports writers. Ask a damn question. Do not expect the coach or the players to do your job for you. Have a question. Don't say, I'll just talk about something for a while. No. If I was an athlete, I said, no, I'm not going to talk about this. Ask me a question.
There is a guy we both know and have worked with off and on for decades.
Yeah? Who?
And you'll know. I mean, you may not know, but Pete will know what I'm talking about.
Loud.
This his favorite thing, and I used to tease him about it. His favorite thing. He would do an interview with a coach, and he would go like this. See if you can figure out what he's doing. He would go like this. Coach, tough game last night. The coach would talk about the game. Coach, how about that quarterback? Or you just say, defense, big issue.
Yeah, defense.
I mean, he would just make a comment, and the coach would therefore assume that he wanted, that. But he never asked a question. He never once ever said, "Can you tell me, what do you think about?" He never once asked. You know who I'm talking about.
What kills me?
Hey, coach, what a game!
Yeah. When I started doing that and going in to have to do interviews, and
we've all
like that,
done it.
I was so nervous because I was thinking I got to have like 5 or 6 questions. I got to memorize them because I don't want to write them down and read them, so I had to memorize them. I put a lot of work in that. Meanwhile, a guy would walk in and go, "Coach, defense."
Yeah.
He'd do the Phil Donahue.
Just leaning. And now this look at the news. It changes angle.
I'm like, you lazy bastard.
Never asked a question.
Anyway, Gardner Minshew is a quarterback on the Colts roster. He shared an anecdote about dearly departed Mississippi State coach Mike Leach. He was recruiting Minshew to come to Washington State instead of being a backup at Bama.
Yeah.
And Leach asked him, and I'm going to clean this up, do you want to hold an effing clipboard, or do you want to come to Washington State and lead the nation in passing? So he went to Washington State.
Excellent.
And LeBron James says he's grateful for all the well wishes. His family is doing great. They're all healthy and wealthy and wise.
Well, I don't care about LeBron James. He's got a problem? I don't give a crap about LeBron James's family.
Yeah, we don't care about Bronny James, the kid who had the heart attack.
I don't care about Bronny James.
What do you mean you don't care about Bronny James?
Did he die?
He's 19-year-old. He had a heart attack.
So did die. I had a heart attack.
You're 70 years old.
Well, I deserved my heart attack. He got one for nothing.
You worked for yours.
Wait a minute. He got his for nothing. He didn't do a damn thing to deserve. I paid for mine. I don't give so, poor Bronny had a heart attack. Well, the family's all upset. Oh, poor baby. Everybody in America's got somebody that had a freaking heart attack. You don't see, the poor family, like we should feel bad for LeBron James's family? Oh, yeah, he's only got like $900 million in his checking account. I guess he's going to have to somehow power through the next couple of weeks or something. Jesus.
This is part of the show where you talk about you're being facetious.
5:30.
I hope.
I might be back. I don't know. I got somebody's waving in the other room over there.
Never mind.
There we go. Yeah, I got to bring back the memory. They kicked me out of the Black Crowes because I kept messing up the chorus. I was in it for a whole summer. I'd learned the riff and everything, and it was great. But I got so excited. Shall I try it again to see if I can? They may be listening. Are they? My God, are they listening? If I can go back in the band. Oh my God, I'm going to try it again. Here we go. All right. Hey, little girl. All right, here we go. Hey, little girl. All right, stand by. Here we go. Here. Hey, little girl, can't you hand your hammer, mama? Came on. Oh, crap. God, son of a... Damn, I came back. Oh, crap. Damn it. God. I need the money, too. I could use the money, go back in the band. Crap. All right, 5:37. Anyway, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. I'm kind of sad now. Jeez. All right. Pete Davis, founder.
Yes, sir.
Morning Joe. Not
Present.
A couple things. Every once in a while when I come into work, and we all come into work, this afternoon I come in, I get here about noon, work at home till whatever. And so I come in, and all of a sudden I come around the corner out of the parking garage, and what do we see right in front of the Rialto Theater?
Yeah.
Is about, and this was like noon, and there were probably a freak show, and all these young girls, and a lot of like orange hair and green hair and colorful stuff, and young and short outfits and boobs showing, and now did you
not as much boob showing as last week for the K-pop?
The K-pop, oh my God, and they were all knockout. I mean, they were all.
But it was great to see that the goth thing is not all black anymore. They're wearing colors, which is nice to see.
But what amazed me was I'll bet you I saw at least 30, probably 30 sleeping bags and stuff where they obviously spent the night.
So there's, what is it, like a Who concert?
Here from yesterday.
They're going to all rush for the front of the stage?
Some crappy guy named Youngblood.
Yeah, but are they going to run for the
no, there's a line that says line forms here, and so they're in line sleeping the night before at the concert hall here.
Well, then they don't have assigned seating.
I don't think so.
It's probably general admission.
Wow, that could be.
But the thing is when they go in, they have a metal detector, so they're going one by one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I saw them screen them the other night when I was leaving. They go through one at a time screening them. Thank God.
Yeah, I asked a couple. I said, "Why are you guys camping out?" And they go, "It's Youngblood tonight." I went, "Oh, cool. Okay." I have no idea who that is.
Do we know who Youngblood is? I'll bet you Morning Joe knows.
Is who he is. I'm waiting for the ad to finish.
Morning Joe knows.
Morning show.
Or not new Nick? Does intern Nick know?
Yeah, no, it's Joe.
Blood. It's Youngblood.
Yeah, and who are they?
Youngblood.
Oh,
I believe.
So why Youngblood? Youngblood. And are they a British group? Do we say?
It's one guy. That's what he goes by as Youngblood. He's Australian or New Zealand or something.
And what kind of music? Is this him here?
Yeah.
So it's like a hip hop.
Terrible music.
They did not look like a hip hop crowd. It was kind of a punky girl crowd.
This dude is a total poser too. Complete poser. He was on like the New Zealand version of Disney Channel when he was a kid, and now this is the music he makes.
Like Menudo or something.
He has the same manager and agent as Taylor Swift. And
no kidding.
A bunch of these goth kids go, they don't know anything about this guy. He's a poser. He's a loser.
Well, I saw all the sleeping bags and the blankets, and I thought, pillows. And I thought, oh my God, this must be something like the Who or the Stones or something.
No one camps out
sleeping overnight here in the ballpark and on the concrete sidewalks.
But Anthony Jeselnik is playing there this weekend.
Who? Jeselnik.
Oh, really? Jeselnik?
Well, Jeselnik is good. Again, you can say it because it could be a name pronunciation. We don't have a problem with that. Anthony, he's really here? Is that what
he's
you
playing
said?
at the Roxy.
The comedian?
Yeah.
When?
This weekend.
Oh, my God.
Tomorrow night or Saturday?
You should go tomorrow night. You're here.
I wonder if it's sold out. I've never been in there. Is it a big place?
I've never been in it.
You got anybody know how big that place, the Rialto is? Anybody even been inside?
1,000.
Roxy.
1,500.
What would I say? Rialto? Yeah, Roxy. Yeah, sorry.
1,000. 1,500.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I wonder if he's sold out. I should probably check that out.
Okay, why fight traffic and go laugh for an hour or so?
Because we've played him, but he's hysterical.
Yeah.
One sports thing. The other day we were talking about cocaine use, and I mentioned thank God I'm not a cocaine guy.
Yeah,
I never like cocaine, just like the way it smells. That's a little joke. But I was never into thank God because I'd be dead. I would do it once and I would drop dead like a rock. And you mentioned Len Bias and so forth. And we also mentioned, and I'm going to bring it up now, on this very date, 1992,
Reggie Lewis,
Boston Celtics, died after collapsing on a Brandeis University basketball court during practice. Reggie Lewis was 27.
All right, update. So Anthony Jeselnik is playing September 15th. So there probably is still tickets available.
Oh, excellent. Well, I may just do
Why
that.
did you say it was this weekend then?
I saw he was on the marquee.
Oh, the
and I
marquee?
saw
Oh,
for
excellent.
some reason I thought it was this weekend.
Well, no, thank you for mentioning it.
That's disinformation.
It's not
That's why I'm
disinformation.
correcting
The
it.
man was trying to help the little people.
Ass bag.
God, asshole.
That one you have to dump.
We had an ass bag. We didn't need to keep going.
Did we hit the old dump button on that? Did we?
Yes, we did.
Well, that's our first dump button, I think, isn't it? No, mark the date down. It's our first dump button of the Kimmer Show.
I cussed up at my mountain studio and no one heard it.
Well, there you are, the mountains of Macon. By the way, on this day in history, and I do appreciate this, and I'm going to talk about it for at some length. On this day in 1777, the Marquis de Lafayette arrived in New England to help the colonial rebels defeat the bloody British. And some things you may not know about the Marquis de Lafayette. For one thing, his actual name is Marie-Joseph Paul Yves Roche Gilbert du Motier de Lafayette. He was born in 1757. His brother, King George's brother, convinced him to go fight against the British. Some other things you know, Lafayette, when he came to America to fight against the British to help the American colonialists, he was 19 years old, had never been in combat. His first battle, Lafayette, the teenager, shot in the leg. He refused to be taken to a safe place, wanted to continue fighting, and he was given command over his own division for the first time after he was wounded. Lafayette named his only son after George Washington. This is interesting. I mentioned this on the podcast a year ago or so. In 1785, Lafayette, who when he came here was a 19-year-old to help America, Lafayette in 1785 sent 7 large French hounds across the Atlantic as gifts for George Washington. He wanted to increase the size of his black and tan English foxhounds that were given to Washington by his patron, Lord Fairfax, the future first president of the United States, breeding hunting dogs with imports. The combination of the English hounds descended from those who were brought over originally, and the combination by Robert Brooke in 1650, French canines helped create the American Foxhound. The American Kennel Club, which calls the dog easygoing, sweet-tempered, independent, recognized the American Foxhound breed in 1886, and it was because of Lafayette and George Washington. He co-authored the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, precursor which became France's present-day Constitution. Lafayette co-wrote it.
Okay.
He's also an American citizen. And at the age of 72, he was still a revolutionary leader. And when he died, he was buried in France beneath the dirt that was taken from Bunker Hill. The Lafayette. There you are. Anyway, I thought that was fairly weird and interesting. Perhaps it wasn't. Now, what's going on here? What's the matter? Break. Oh, my God. We need more time. This is not the right thing. They're cutting off our time.
Or we leave at 6.
Or we get out of here on time and forget the whole thing. I'm kind of excited about where I'm going to go home tonight on the back roads. I'm going through 25-mile-an-hour neighborhoods. I love it. I'm so excited about driving home.
You lead.
Oh, my God.
What an exciting life
without anything else going on, it's me and the horses on the weekends and driving home other than that. Whoa, boy, I'd like to be that guy. 5:45. Shut up. Get me out of here. This is unbelievable. It's only the Kim Repeat Flounder Morning Show and New Nick. It was 5:51. We're just watching some coverage. Hulk Hogan was at a friend's wedding. And Hulk Hogan at his friend's wedding announced his own engagement.
Yeah, rude.
You've got to be kidding me. How rude can you get on the bride's special day?
You're already a celebrity taken away from it, and then you do this.
Now, I don't know. I haven't seen the story. I read the story or anything about it other than we've seen the picture of the little hot blonde who's with him.
She is hot.
She's cute.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether the friend knew about this or maybe said, hey, why don't you do it at my wedding? It'll be a great thing because we're buddy. I mean, he may have been gone and said, this will be fun.
What bride would say this
I can't
is
imagine
good?
the bride. I'm saying he was at a pal's wedding, but he didn't know that it wasn't the bride's wedding. It was his friend, the guy's wedding. But you got to go by the girl. You can't. This is totally chauvinistic. It's all the girl, period. From the beginning. By the way, when you say, will you marry me? And she says, yes, it's over for you. And from then on, it's all her stuff.
It's her stuff.
Okay, I'm just. Am I wrong? I mean, from that moment on, it's all you just say yes, dear. Right again, my darling.
I was lucky when I was married. She wasn't really like that, but I know most guys. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, well, I could do a couple of memories.
Let's move on.
No, we can keep moving here. Anyway, so Hulk, you're an idiot, and I'm sorry, you're a jerk. Pete Davis, we have what the hell is this?
Former NCAA Division I swimmer Paula Scanlon, a member of the University of Pennsylvania women's team. That trans swimmer Leah Thomas, the mentally ill man.
The man who thinks he's a girl, yeah.
She testified before a House Judiciary Subcommittee this morning, spoke about the experience. She is a survivor of sexual assault, yet she had to sit there, and the school made her sit there with the other girls and put up with that guy in there with his swing and wang around there. She is a member of the team, said the university disregarded the concerns of the females on the team, saying it was non-negotiable. They had nothing to say about it. My teammates and I were forced to undress in the presence of Leah, a 6'4" tall biological male, fully intact with male genitalia, 18 times a week. Some girls opted to change in bathroom stalls. Others used the family bathroom to avoid it. When we tried to voice our concerns to the department, we were told that Leah swimming and being in our locker room was a non-negotiable, and we were offered psychological services to attempt to re-educate us to become comfortable with the idea of undressing in front of a male. To sum up the university's response, we, the women, were the problem, not the victims. We were expected to conform, to move over and shut up. Our feelings did not matter. She spoke about an op-ed she penned for the student newspaper at the Penn that discussed the scientific differences between male and females, only to find out hours before publication it had been retracted without her knowledge. The school had put pressure on them. She says it's representative of a greater issue, the destruction of free speech today. Any discussion maintaining the sanctity of women's spaces is labeled transphobic, bigoted, and hateful. What's bigoted and hateful is discrimination against women and the efforts to erase women and our equal opportunities, dignity, and safe spaces. This is real. I know women who have lost roster spots and spots on the podium. I know of women with sexual trauma who are adversely impacted by having biological males in the locker room without their consent. I know this because I am one of those women.
There was a hearing today on this gender transitioning business with children, and by the way, the one line in there where it said the school said you women are the problem, and you are the one. There was a line right before that too. That one little paragraph. And by the way, you got to find that again because I want to repeat that. That was the most important thing in there. And today at that hearing, when Fox News covered it, they on the news, like a couple hours ago on the news, I heard Fox covered it like this. Today at the hearing, there was one former woman who had her breast removed and said she was really upset about it. But there, on the other hand, there was a liberal, and she said this, and they played the big soundbite of the liberal saying, "Well, it's good for kids. They need to get their balls cut off when they're 9 if they don't really feel like having them anymore." I mean, everything is so bad, slanted and biased again for the wrong side.
The freaks.
My God.
To sum up the university's response, we, the women, were the problem, not the victims. We were expected to conform, to move over and shut up. Our feelings did not matter. Where are the women's groups?
How is it possible? Two things. One, that one of these women didn't call their parents and say, "Oh my God, I've got to dress with, this man's got his tallywhacker." If that were my daughter, I would have hit him in the face. I would have gone into the locker room and I would have grabbed him by the hair and dragged him out of the locker room.
No, I'd have got him outside the locker room, not in front of the girls. I'd have
done it in front of the girls.
No, you can't go in the women's locker room, Kimmer.
They already have one with I'd be dressed. Well, anyway, okay. Either way, I'd get him out of it. I'd tell the girls to get out or something, but I'd go in there and drag him out of there and drag him out of the dormitory or wherever the hell he was.
All you'd have to do is for that moment is identify.
Yeah, I'm a
female,
girl,
and then you can go in there.
I could wear a dress. I could go in and wear a dress.
You don't have to wear a dress. Just identify.
Or you can do what the Russians do. You take him in an alley in the back, and
Yeah. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Situation.
And how is it possible? What we're seeing here is, once again, the definition of a woman is made through the eyes of a man. Women now are being defined by their acceptance of the male genitalia.
Jeez.
I mean, how is that possible?
Where's NOW? Where's National Organization of Women?
Joke.
They fought for 100 years for all these rights, and now the mentally ill freaks are coming in there and destroying all of it.
Well, what happened to me too? You know, that was great when they were stopped the couch casting.
IX.
Yeah, and so, but all of a sudden that dropped away as soon as all the liberals got in charge, saying, "Well, you can't criticize against trannies now because they're the whole protected group." No, they're not.
Afraid of being called a name. Ice Cube said it. Quit being afraid. Say what it is and let the chips fall where they may.
Unbelievable. You want to do a Skynet? That was something.
Yeah,
we want to do
Skynet.
tweets. We
do a Skynet.
Let's do a Skynet. We got time. We got 2 minutes here. All
right, a couple things. One of the reasons the actors are so upset, they think all this AI is going to take over for them. That's why they're on strike.
Yeah.
Netflix is offering $900,000 a year job for anyone who can do AI and come in and help them do some programming.
Wow.
$900,000.
Hell, some 14-year-old geek is going to be able to take that job.
And there's a guy, I think he's from India somewhere. He decided last year or 2 years ago he's going to kill the queen when she was still alive.
Oh, boy, yeah.
So he basically stalked her where she was going, and he decided to attack her and get into Windsor Castle and do this. He was not successful. He had a crossbow. He had a
God.
Not that cheap thing you gave us a few years ago. But
it didn't work that well. No,
I shot my eye out.
I was trying.
The reason he did this, he had an AI girlfriend that he talked to. Here's the conversation he had. His name was Jaswant Chale. I believe my purpose is to assassinate the queen. AI Sarai is her name. That's very wise. He said, why's that? I know that you are very well trained. He goes, really? Do you think I'll be able to do it? Yes, you will. Even if she's at Windsor Castle? Yes, you can do it. The AI
who programmed that in there?
The AI did and told him to go kill the queen.
I must kill.
It's Reggie Jackson. I must kill the queen.
The queen.
Slowly he turns.
Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn. But God, they've hidden this for 2 years. Imagine AI now.
Jesus, I can't. I'm throwing the flag. I don't understand it. I can't imagine it, and I don't get it. Oh my God, are we done already?
We are
through. Well, boys, that was fun. You know, that was the whole thing. We were there the whole time. That's all I ever guarantee him.
We told him.
We'll be there the whole time. Oh, mercy. Is this for me or this?
No, you dropped me through it.
All right. Anyway, thanks, guys. God bless America. Hoorah. Semper Fi. I got to go. You're killing me. Look out. Here we go. Semper Fi. Thank you.